You know why that's disgusting? Because that was on the washing and the drying.
We don't know that though. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We're gonna pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which is receive honor one from another, and not the honor that come from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Y'all know y'all in the camera space. You might want to go back that way. All praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. 1 Chronicles 28:19.
All this said David, Yahuah made me understand in writing by his hand upon me all the works of this pattern.
Hey, Leviticus 25, Nick.
Exodus.
Yeah, Exodus 25, Nick.
And let me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show you, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall you make it.
Indeed. Leviticus chapter 3, verse 1. We get back to the kill y'all, man. Leviticus 3:1. Come on with it.
And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before Yahuah. He shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering and kill it at the door of the tabernacle or the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priest, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. He shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto Yahuah, the fat that cover the inward, and all the fat that is upon the inward. And the two kidneys and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away.
So stop. And that's verse 4. So give him kidneys again. Give him fat. Give him flanks. Give him caul. Shalom, Mika.
Kidneys is kill yah. Kidneys, physical organ, or you got a seat of emotions and affections.
The seat of the emotion and affection. Go ahead. Give him the fat.
Fat is kaleb. You got fat of humans, the fat of beasts, the choices, the best part.
The best part. Go ahead.
And then flanks is kasel. You got loins, flank.
Go ahead.
And then caul is yothareth, an appendage, an overhang, a protrusion. The caudate lobe of the liver of a sacrificial animal.
And that's the lobe or the flap of the liver, right? Now, if you look at the flap of the liver, comparing that to another organ, what would that be comparable to? What would that be comparable to? You got to take the caul off of the liver. This is comparable to something else where you do something similar, except you're not sacrificing it. You don't know, Sid? Well, let's take a look at this. Genesis 17:1. Maybe that help you out.
And when Abram was 99 years old, Yahuah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Elohim, walk before me and be ye perfect. And I'll make my covenant between me and you, and will multiply you exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you.
My covenant is what?
Is with you. You shall be a father of many nations.
Shalom, Sister Regina.
Neither shall your name anymore be called Abram, but your name shall be Abraham.
Abraham.
For father of many nations have I made you.
Made you.
I'll make you exceeding fruitful. I'll make nations of you. Nations shall come out of you.
Out of you.
I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you and their generations for an everlasting covenant to be Elohim unto you and to your seed after you. And I'll give unto you and to your seed after you the land wherein you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession. I will be their Elohim.
Go ahead.
And Elohim said unto Abraham, You shall keep my covenant, therefore you and your seed after you and their generations. And this is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and your seed after you. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Every man child among you shall be what?
Circumcised. You shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall
Shalom,
be a
brother.
token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
And now, Yasharal, what do Yahuah your Elohim require of you but to fear Yahuah your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, to love him, to serve Yahuah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul,
Go ahead.
to keep the commandments of Yahuah and his statutes, which I command you this day for your good.
Come on.
Behold, Shamahim and the Shamahim of Shamahim is Yahuah's your Elohim. The earth also, with all that therein is. Only Yahuah had a delight in your fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart.
Do what?
Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart.
And be what?
No more stiff-necked.
Jeremiah 4 and 4.
Circumcise yourselves to Yahuah. Take away the foreskins of your heart, you men of Yehuda.
Take away the what?
Foreskins of your heart.
Now, I'm only mentioning that there because you're taking the call off of the liver, which you're taking something away from the liver. Now, this, of course, is not a one-for-one comparison. These are similarities. You take the foreskin off of the penis. You know what I'm saying? But in this instance, he's telling you to take the foreskin off of your heart. Give him foreskin in Jeremiah 4 by definition.
That is orla, foreskin, or uncircumcised.
Go to Jeremiah 9 and 24 or 5, whichever one it is, Egypt, Ammon, and Edom. Yeah, Jeremiah 9 and whatever.
26.
9 and 26.
Egypt, Yehuda, Edom, and the children of Ammon and Moab, and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Yasharal are uncircumcised in the heart.
They uncircumcised where?
In the heart.
See, now we could just go look at it, right? What that is, man. Go to Romans chapter 2, man. Verse 17. No. Yeah, verse 17 is fine. Shalom, Brother Marcus.
Behold, you are called the Yahudim, and rest in the law, and make your boast of Elohim, and know his will, and approve the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law, and are confident that you yourself are a guide of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness, an instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which have the form of knowledge and of the truth and the law. You therefore which teach another, teach you not yourself.
You don't teach yourself?
You that preach a man should not steal, do you steal?
You stealing?
You that say a man should not commit adultery, do you commit adultery? You that abhor idols, do you commit sacrilege? You that make your boast of the law, through breaking the law, dishonor you Elohim?
You dishonor God.
For the name of Elohim is blasphemed.
Now we see that all the time. People who boast in the law, you dishonor your God by breaking it. You know, we were talking about this the other day, man. Like, people think that means something because you're talking about it, but you don't actually live it. So it don't take away from the word. It take away from you. But unfortunately, people don't know how to make the distinction. So they take away from God because of you. You know what I'm talking about? And he finna tell you that. Y'all already know what to say. Go ahead.
And for the name of Elohim is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you, as it is written.
As it is written.
Circumcision truly profit if you keep the law.
If you
but
keep
if you be a breaker of the law, your circumcision.
Now that goes back to what we were reading in Genesis 17. That circumcision in the flesh, there's gain for you if you obey. But if you don't obey, it's as if you're not in a covenant with this man in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Which is why, you know, of course, especially when you speak to people who are quote unquote Old Testament only, they have a problem with Paul in his discourse on circumcision. You know what I'm saying? And in the reality, all Paul is saying is circumcision can't save you, which is a fact. You know what I'm saying? You being circumcised in your penis is not going to guarantee you everlasting life. But individuals get caught up on carnal things. So because of those carnal things, they believe that make them justified or righteous with Elohim. Most of y'all already know these things. This is how this go. So some people take it, you telling people not to be circumcised, you can't like you can't eat the Passover uncircumcised. I'd be like, ain't nobody eat no Passover. You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about, like the law Passover. Nobody's doing that because you couldn't sacrifice that anyway. Shalom, Brother Marvin. You couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's neither here nor there. But let's continue.
So for circumcision truly profit if you keep the law, but if you be a breaker of the law, your circumcision is made uncircumcision.
Go back to Jeremiah 9:26.
Egypt, Yahudah, and Edom, and the children of Ammon and Moab, all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised.
All of them are uncircumcised.
And all the house of Yasharah are uncircumcised in the heart.
They uncircumcised where?
In the heart.
So as all intents and purposes, uncircumcision in the heart was counted as uncircumcision. That's literally what is being conveyed in Jeremiah. You know what I'm saying? He's saying these people are on equal footing. No difference. Back to the epistle to the Romans. Now, I'm only mentioning that because of the lobe. The lobe is what covers the liver, the caul, if you would. You know what I'm talking about? He say, take that away from the liver. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way he talking about that foreskin of your heart. Take that away. That's what's covering your heart. Take it away. Like, dude, I know, man, he was talking about, he got a rap song, Junk Trash. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? It's mediocre. We be messing with him, though. You know what I'm saying? Because he got, peace, brother jokes. He got ad libs. He sound like he hunching, man. Ooh, that's not me funny, though. I'm not making this up. I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? But that's my dog. I'm just messing with him. But listen. But in the song, he mentioned about the stony heart. And then he asked everybody, what does that mean to have a stony heart? So I pose that same question to all of you. What does it mean to have a stony heart? Anybody know what y'all believe that mean to have a stony heart? Let's see if you can go to Ezekiel 11 and 17. I think I mentioned this other day though. Look what I got to remember too. I got to get Gog and Magog, and I know I need to get Ezekiel 20 for Jonathan, man. I know I got to get Gog and Magog for Omar, man. I didn't even see if Omar done slid through here yet. A defiant, rebellious heart as if you know better than Yahuah. Very well then. Shalom, Jay. Anybody else before Sippy read the definition of the word? I think we did read this here because I think Omar asked it about it Wednesday. My mind bad. I believe he did ask about this Wednesday because I remember mentioning the Hebrew word aben. That's what it means to have a stony heart, aben. We did because he referenced Ezekiel 36. You know what I'm saying? That's right there. A perverse or hard heart. That's because aben means stone. And usually when you see chief cornerstone, this, that, and the third, you're going to see aben. But also one of the definitions of it is having a perverse heart. Let's see what it means in English to have a perverse heart. And I want you to show the example of a perverse heart. Go to 1 Timothy 6 and 1. They just locked up some perverts in the city yesterday. 29 of them. Trying to get some child porn. Now, when you have a perverse means deliberately deviating from that which is considered normal or acceptable. Often describes someone who was stubbornly contrary, wrong-headed, determined to do the opposite of what is reasonable. When you look at someone who is stubbornly contrary, persistently holding to the wrong, deliberately acting against expectations just to be difficult. Okay, yeah. Darius asked about it. Y'all have forgiven mine bad. I know. As soon as I seen it, I'm like, yeah, I know we talk about that. Now, listen, right? When you look at what he said about Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh deliberately went against that which is acceptable because he knew he should have let them people go. But his heart was hard. Remember, what does it mean to be perverse? One more time. Stubbornly contrary, determined to do the opposite of right. You're determined to do it. Read Ezekiel 11 and 17.
Therefore say, thus saith Yahuah Elohim, I'll even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Yasharal. They shall come there, they shall take away all the detestable things,
things,
and all the abominations thereof from thence. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new ruach within you. I will take the stony heart.
I'll put a new what in you?
A new ruach within you.
And I'll give you a what?
Take the stony heart out of your flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh.
Now give him heart of flesh right there, man. Lev what? Basar? I can't recall.
Sorry, got flesh, the body of humans, of animals, the male organ. Kindred, blood, flesh, all living things, animals, mankind.
Now we can read 2 Corinthians 3:3. When you have a heart of flesh, you're determined to do that which is right. He'll read 1 Timothy 6:1 in a moment. And of course, we're going to contrast it with the kill Yah, which is the seat of your emotions, and why they have to be taken away in the midst of a salim or a sacrificial, alliance of friendship. Go ahead.
For as much as you are manifestly declared to be the epistle of a Mashiach ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the ruach of the living Elohim.
Where they wrote it at?
Not in tables of stone,
but where?
In fleshy tables of the heart.
See, now notice that he mentioned not in tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart. Now pause. Go to Matthew 4:4.
But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceed out of the mouth of Elohim.
Back it up to verse 1, because we ain't read what we need to read.
Then was Yahushua led up of the Ruach into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he afterward hungered. And when a tempter came to him, he said, if you be the son of Elohim,
what do you want him to do?
Command that these stones be made bread.
That he's what?
That these stones be made bread.
Now, we didn't talk about this before, but now we're going to touch it from a different angle. Satan asked for the stones to be made bread. He said that now this covenant is not written on tables of stone, but written where is it?
Tables of the heart.
Now go to Exodus, 34:1, and listen to this.
And Yahuah said unto Moses, hew you 2 tables of stone like unto the first.
Like unto the what?
Like unto the first.
And what happened?
I'll write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which you break.
Now, this is my question. What is the relevance of the stone and the flesh? Now, we reference in 2 Corinthians 3. He said that these are not written on tables of stone, but fleshly tables of the heart. That's what he said, right? Now, we just read where Satan asked him, take these stones and turn them into bread. And that the covenant itself was written on stone, which is what Paul is referencing. Hey, instead of being written on tables of stone, I'm going to write it on your heart. Take that into play. Add your stony heart and heart of flesh from Ezekiel, and what determination can any of you come up with when you take all of these pieces of information together? Is there any level of wisdom and or understanding that can be extracted from it? And just on general principle, Civic, read Ezekiel 11:19 again, just so you can hear it again. This is Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 19.
I will give them one heart, and we'll put a new ruach within you.
Put a what?
A new ruach within
Tell
you.
them what new is right now, man.
That's Kadash.
What that mean?
New, fresh.
A fresh spirit in you. You understand? Read it from the top. This is Ezekiel, the 11th chapter and the 19th verse. And it says this.
And I will give them one heart. I will put a new rock within you. I will take the stony heart out of their flesh.
Out of their flesh.
And will give them a heart of flesh.
Heart of flesh. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. And it says this.
For as much as you are manifestly declared to be the epistle of a Mashiach,
that's right,
ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the ruach of the living Elohim,
and
not in tables of stone,
but
fleshy tables of the heart.
Now, Matthew chapter 4, verse 1, and it says this.
Then was Yahushua led up of the ruach into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
Tempted.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungry. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if you be the son of Elohim, command that these stones be made bread.
That these stones be made what?
Bread.
Now, Exodus chapter 34 and verse 1. And it says this.
And Yahuah said unto Moses, hew you 2 tables of stone like unto the first.
Like unto the first.
And I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables which you break.
Now, which they did what to him, Civic?
What you break.
Now, taking Ezekiel 11 and 19, 2 Corinthians 3 and 3, Matthew 4 and 1, and the subsequent verses that were read, and Exodus 34 and 1, and the subsequent verses that was read. When you take all of these things together, what does this have to do with a ben lev, or a stony heart, or a perverse or hard heart? Anybody got any wisdom and or understanding that can be extracted from this? Remember, and to have a perverse heart is to be stubbornly contrary. Law written in stone condemned you. The stony heart condemns you. Fair assessment. Fair assessment. I have no problems with that assessment. Come here. Come here. Come here, Dwayne Jamal. Anybody else before we proceed? Listen, I'll probably do a short about it, but y'all know we're about a week out, man. Y'all willing to look like, as of right now, everybody advertised is going to be there. Read Jeremiah 31 and 33.
But this shall be the covenant that I'll make with the house of Yasharal. After those days, saith Yahuah, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts.
Now, pause. Now, we read that in Ezekiel 11. So you're going to have to explain how Jeremiah 31 relates to all of them verses together. With considering that we read that in Ezekiel 11, which effectively said the same thing. So I want y'all to pause and think. He said these are not written on fleshly, on tables of stone, right? But where?
Tables of the heart.
He said he'd take that heart of stone out of you and give you a heart of what?
Flesh.
Then Satan asked for that bread to be turned to what? Stone. Now I'm gonna get another one to the Matthew fold just because. John chapter 6, man, and verse 46. And then we read Exodus 34 and 1 where he said I'll write this same law again on these tables of stone, referencing back to what Paul referenced in 2 Corinthians 3. Come on with this. This is John chapter 6, verse 46. Go ahead with it. Make it 44 on John.
No man can come to me except the Abba which have sent me, draw him, and I'll raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, they shall be all taught of Elohim. Every man therefore that have heard and have learned of the Abba, come unto me. Not that any man have seen the Abba, save he which is of Elohim.
Indeed.
He have seen the Abba.
What else?
Truly, truly, I say unto you.
What he said?
He that believe on me have everlasting life.
And what else?
I am that bread of life.
You that what?
I am that bread of life.
What happened with it?
The fathers did eat manna in the wilderness.
And are. Go ahead.
And this is the bread which come down from Shamayim.
It come down from where?
Shamayim.
What did happen with it?
That a man may eat thereof and not die.
And not die. And what else?
I am the living bread which came down from Shamayim.
And what else?
Any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever.
And live forever.
And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world.
Now that take into account what we read in Matthew 4. So let's begin to slow roll this here, right? You did? Put all these things together. On general principle, run it back like we Jay Uso with the Yeet, man. 2 Corinthians 3 and 3.
For as much as you are manifestly declared to be the epistle of the Mashiach, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the rock of the living Elohim.
What else?
Not in tables of stone,
but in
fleshy tables of the heart.
Now remember, we still hold in Romans 2. Not in tables of stone, but where?
Fleshy tables of the heart.
Ezekiel 11 and 19.
And I will give them one heart. I will put a new rock within you. I will take the stony heart out of their flesh.
Out of their what?
Out of their flesh.
And what are you going to do with it?
I will give them a heart of flesh.
Give them a what?
A heart of flesh.
Now, go to Matthew chapter 4, verse 1.
Then was Yahuah led up of the Ruach into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
What else?
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungry. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if you be the son of Elohim,
you be?
Command that these stones be made bread.
Be commanded these what?
Stones be made bread.
What the Lord told him.
But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone,
but of
every word that proceed out of the mouth of Elohim.
Every what?
every word that proceed out of the mouth of Elohim.
Let's take it a step further. John chapter 1, verse 14. Then John chapter 6 and verse 50. Go ahead.
And the word was made flesh.
It was made what?
Made flesh.
And what happened with it?
Dwelt among us.
And
we beheld his esteem. The esteem is of the only begotten of the Abba.
What else?
Full of grace and truth.
Full of what?
Grace and truth.
What else?
John bare witness of him and cried, saying,
What he said?
This was he of whom I spake. He that come after me is preferred before me.
Why?
For he was before me.
What else?
And of his fullness have we all received. And
Where did you
grace for
receive?
Grace.
Grace for what?
Grace for grace.
And what else?
For the law was given by Moses.
But
grace and truth
came by
Yahuah HaMashiach.
John 6 and 50.
This is the bread which come down from Shamayim.
Come down from where?
Shamayim.
What are they going to have with
A
it?
man may eat thereof and not die.
And not die.
I'm the living bread which came down from Shamayim. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever.
Live forever.
And the bread that I will give is my flesh.
It's my what?
It's my flesh.
Very well then. Exodus 34 and 1.
And Yahuah said unto Moses, Hew you 2 tables of stones like unto the first, and I'll write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables which you break.
Now we got a lot of places that we just read, right? And we got to tie them in together. And we got to tie them in together because in this instance, he said, we're not writing them on tables of stone, but on fleshly tables of the heart. Considering that we read that Ezekiel prophesied that Yahuah himself would remove the stony heart from you and give you a heart of flesh. Now, we read Satan say, turn these stones into bread. We read that the word was made flesh. Yahushua said that the bread that come down from Shamayim, that he is that bread, and that he'll give that bread for the life of the world, which is his flesh. Then, of course, we read where, the law was written on tables of stone. Now, does this mean that the law is perverse? Absolutely not. Let's see why we say that. Romans 7 and 7. What's up, my boy?
No.
What's up, Mr. J? Don't do that.
So what
So,
shall
hold on. Signs of a stony heart, a unforgiving. Those are signs of it. But what we're focusing on really is 2 things. One, Paul's statement that it won't be written on tables of stone, but fleshly tables of the heart, which is why Marvin mentioned Jeremiah 31 and 33. And the statement of Satan tempting the Lord, saying, turn this stone into bread. Now, of course, we've discussed this before. He asking him to bring the covenant in before the time. But also in this instance, this is referencing what we get into. And Jack Daniels mentioned this here, like the law written in stone condemns you, which is fair. But what we're looking at, you know what I'm saying? Well, what we're looking at is in the aspect of you take those 2 things together from the Jeremiah 31, because what I want mom to do is you need a further explanation. You know what I'm saying? Because you're almost being redundant. Because Ezekiel 11 is saying the same thing. So they're being redundant. When you look at the stones being turned into bread, when you look at the aspect of not being written on, that's fine. Psalms 40 and 8. You can make it 4. Great day, Mama Steph. It's like I said, right? The stone condemn you. Satan is asking for the bread, the stones to be turned into bread before the time. You know what I'm saying? Because that bread, which is his flesh, which is given for the life of the world, brings forth the heart of flesh, where your Jeremiah 31 get turned into, which is showing the perfecting and the turning of the sons of God, of that which gives life, which we finna read, because those stones don't give life. You know what I'm saying? So when you have this aspect of, and we can read Romans 10 and 1 with it, that you going about to establish your own righteousness, and we can swing this back to Proverbs 29 and 1 shortly. This is how you end up becoming stubbornly contrary. Not stubbornly contrary as forth as disobedience to the law, but stubbornly contrary into your faith and obedience to your maker, which is what a lot of people don't have, which is why he was asking them to turn the stones into bread. If Yahushua turned the law into bread or into flesh, he's doing something that the law was never intended to do. Why said it? Because the law don't give life. That's why we added in, and the word was made flesh. Y'all put the components together. Remember, I want you to be make it plain upon the table, so he that read it may run. You know what I'm saying? But praise be to Yahuah, cuz Jack gave one part, Marvin gave another part, but we got to make sure we give the whole parts, because there's people on here, they don't know what the hell we talking about. They be like, man, this nigga crazy. He reaching. But let me tell you something, right? I only reach for weights. You understand? And when we cook up work, we don't stretch it or water it down. You niggas might cook up water with, well, we sell straight drop, man. 28 grams, a whole zone in a 400 milliliter beaker. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, give thanks to God that you don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because if you did know what I'm talking about, you had a hard existence for a certain period of time. Come on, sir.
So Baruch is the man that make Yahuah his trust,
right?
And respect not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Many, O Yahuah Ma'alahim, are your wonderful works
right.
Which you have done. Your thoughts are which are to us words, they cannot be reckoned up in order unto you.
Right.
If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered.
Right.
Sacrifice and offering you did not desire.
But
my ears have you opened, burnt offering and sin offering you have not required.
Stop. Now see, that's taking us back to what we talking about with these offerings, because I ain't require that of you. And see, I was talking to my dog about this other day, right? Because we were talking about that Proverbs verse that we got to go back to about what a wise man will pacify and atone. And I was asking him, how do you atone? According to your law. And he mentioned, repent. But I'm like, but that's not what your law says makes an atonement. And that's what people who don't believe in Mashiach are going to come into a conundrum, because you can't go to talking about Day of Atonement and this, that, there, and the third, and then say that he atoned from sin differently than what your law say, how he atoned for sin. Because in the same breath, you'll tell somebody, he Yahuah, he changed not. Well, if he changes not, then how is your sin being atoned for? Now, we was referencing this aspect of, if the atonement was the correct atonement, you wouldn't have to keep coming back. Now, I mentioned that, this is in the side of the book you don't fool with. I mentioned sides of the book that he do fool with. Because Hebrews tell you, if the sacrifice would make the comer thereof too perfect, you wouldn't have to keep coming back. And this is what people like, well, Christians still be sinning. See, that's where y'all get the game twisted at. See, this is where the game get twisted at when people say that to you. Just because somebody professes to be a Christian, believe in a Mashiach, whatever they may describe themselves to be, does not mean that they're dwelling in Shalom, Brother Ernest, does not mean that they're dwelling in him and he's dwelling in them. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what people get it twisted at, because they're looking at the label. Now, I told you a gentleman who I got respect for, he mentioned this here, like, why do all these people claim to have a spirit and they moving different? Nobody ever considers maybe these people don't have it. Because like we were talking to a brother today, what I was telling y'all about when the gentleman were asking, well, if you got the spirit, the fruit, people, the book tell you how to tell if somebody got a spirit. It is not difficult. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Doctrine and teachings is not the lead thing. Because he said he give you one heart, right? We read that in Ezekiel, right? But Paul also wrote, to we come into the unity of the faith. So that means even then that all those people weren't in the unity of the faith. The unity of the faith is in Yahushua, and that's contained in that testimony. But that's another conversation. But what does the text tell you where you can tell what a spirit is? Number one, it'll testify for Mashiach. Number two, you'll have faith, you'll have joy, you'll have love, you'll have peace, you'll have gentleness, you'll have meekness, you'll have long suffering, you'll have self-control. You know what else you'll have? You'll have bowels of mercy. You'll forbear one another. You'll forgive one another. You won't lie to each other. You won't be malicious. You won't be spiteful. These are the things you're supposed to look at. Oh, you'll lay your life down for your friend. You'll be moved with bowels of compassion for your brother when he had need. It tells you what to look for, but don't nobody want to look at none of that. Since I mentioned all that, I don't want no goofy square-head individual somewhere in these United States of America or on the other side of the quote-unquote globe to open a mullet mouth and say we made all of this up. Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. Hold on, before you do that, see it? Jeremiah 17 and verse 7. For those of y'all who always come around here and cop work, you already know what it is. But if you don't come around here and cop work, then you're here for the first time.
Baruch is the man that trusts in Yahuah.
That's right.
And whose hope Yahuah is.
That's right.
For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters.
By the waters.
Spread out her roots by the river.
By the
shall
river.
not see when heat come.
Will not see what?
When heat come.
What else?
But her leaf shall be green.
Shall be what?
Shall be green.
And what he'll never cease from doing.
And shall not be careful in the year of drought. Neither shall cease from yielding fruit.
Now we talked about this last week, right? About that fig tree. They ain't got no fruit on it. It's worthless. But those who believe and trust in Yahuah, whose hope Yahuah is, they never stop producing fruit. You know why? Because it is perpetual. Because it is continual. It never ceases. And you know why it never ceases? Because he said, Yahuah, your Elohim, neither sleep nor get weary. He said, I lift up my right hand to heaven and say, I live forever. He never stopped producing fruit. Yahushua told you in the 7th chapter of Matthew that how you going to know him, Sivit? Now let's look and see what the text say the fruit is. Galatians 5:22. The fruit ain't what you wanted to be. I remember dude told me, you know the fruit by how many communities you building. See, you's a lie before God. See, I've been told y'all, man, it's like rappers with gimmicks. When your rhymes is trash and your beats is weak, you know what I'm saying? You need gimmicks in order to bring in an audience. When your work is trash as forth as it come in the word, and you actually don't line up with the word, man, then guess what you got to do? You have to come up with gimmicks to draw the people in. Let me tell you something, man. When you deal with the people who downtrodden and you tell them you the set apart people and you convince them that you got to move out on some acres of land and this is proof that you doing the work of God, you already a certified goofy. And listen, when I say a certified goofy, these people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s going for this. Now, let me be clear. There's nothing fundamentally wrong if you desire to want to go and buy you some land and dwell on it. The fundamental error coming at when you tell people this is a part of their salvation. Hey, peace, East, man. Shoot, you ain't got to tell me I want to go to sleep right now. I ain't even took my medication yet. You know what I'm talking about? But listen, there's nothing fundamentally wrong if you want to do that. The fundamental error coming at when you tell people if you don't do that, that means you not doing the work of God. That ain't what he told them people to do. He ain't tell them people to go live on land and live separate. He never told them people to do that. You made that up. Now, when you tell people that who feel like, oh, we need to get out of these cities, we need to get from around. I told you this before. This man say you got to flee Babylon by moving in the wood. You jackass, you still in the same country. And you got grown people who go for this, man. How you going to tell me to flee Babylon and I'm still in the same state? Say, oh, that's Tyrone. Oh, just ignore him, mama. He left anyway. Y'all remember when we talked about that? That junk pissed me off. When you flee from a country, you leave the country. You don't go from one city to another city in the same place you say is Babylon, and you got grown people going for this. This is why you have to be more noble than those in Thessalonica, because they search the scriptures daily to see if them things were so. Because people will tell you anything, man. And they'll have you out here looking more fool than a white-faced mule, man. And you're going to be around here blaming God because you ain't got no common sense. See, right? And everything that they need while out in the woods, they got to go back to the city and buy it. And go back in the city to go to work. Don't even realize, boy, you being exploited, boy. See, I told you this dude asked me today, he said, you a preacher or a pimp? I said, nigga, I'm both. See, that nigga pimping. See, we don't pimp people. We live by the principles. People don't even understand. What's the principles of pimping, man? It's having power and control of yourself and your surroundings and your life, man. You understand what I'm saying to you, man? That's what it's about. See, you think it's simply about the exploitation of prostitution. You know what I'm talking about? No, they ain't got nothing to do with it. That's a different element of it, man. But in order like this here, man, like that boy said, I pimped my pen and it never ran out of ink when I wanted it to write. You know what I'm talking about? It never froze up on me. Because what am I doing? I'm using my pen in order to be able to facilitate an action that will be directly beneficial to me. When you're able to move by the tenets of the ism, you actually move yourself to actually do things that are beneficial to you and then those who are around you. And then you have control over yourself. Because I told y'all this a few weeks back, man. Say one of my aunts in the word lives on land. Nothing wrong with it. But yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with it. Like I said, right? I told you, man, one of the strong tenets of, like I would tell you, the dude in the video we're talking about, of where pimps and preachers had a downfall at, is because they have sex with the women. Because dudes don't, because they make you believe, oh, if you's a pimp, man, you know what I'm saying? There it is. Like it's a proper instruction, motivate people. And that's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you get into Ecclesiastes 12. You know, we went through this where you can see the ism in the text, man. Because listen, man. The book tell you don't give your wealth over to women. He tell you to give your wealth to your wife and don't give it to strangers. But that's another conversation. He tell you about how to stay away from whores. Like I was telling the people this other night, I was telling y'all that, man, like the text tell you the difference between a lady, a virtuous woman, and a whore. Because he said a whore is a deep pitch. Remember, whore is this is an unfaithful woman. I've told you before, word-wise, being a whore is not necessarily about having sexual dalliances with a multitude of different suitors. You understand what I'm telling you? It's an individual who is not faithful to her task. Yasharal is a whore because she is a nah. She played the harlot. She wasn't faithful to her husband. So the elements of the covenant that was conveyed to her, she wasn't faithful to it. And that just ain't related to messing with idols. That can be related to the aspect of the things that I communicated to you. Again, the proper instruction to motivate you. You did not remain faithful to that instruction. Therefore, where the word of the king is, there is power, which is mastery. So therefore, you don't have mastery and self-control, which is really the tenets of pimping. It's having self-control, because pimps don't have sex with their whores. But that's what they tell you, though. They tell you that, no, because that's going to mess up the bread. That's going to mess up what we got going on. I'm supposed to have self-control. One of the aspects of the word is you have to have self-control. You can't be moved by your desires. And that's what people get the game twisted at. Your desires rule you, which is why you got to that's why you got to take the kill out. That's why you got to take the kidneys out and burn them. Because that's the seat of your emotions. That's the seat of your affections. That's the seat of your lust. That's why those that are Mashiachs have crucified their affections and lust. You have to get rid of that. See, in this aspect we talking about, when you looking at the word, man, and you talking about the ism, man, you can never actually manifest that in the word if your kidneys ain't been removed. You understand what I'm telling you? Because you ain't going to never have the control of yourself. And the control of yourself is coming because what did we read earlier? I'm going to take that heart of stone out of you. I'm going to give you a heart of flesh. It's not written on tables of stone, but a heart of flesh. And I'm going to put a Kadash spirit in you, a new one, a fresh one. And then you'll do my laws and you'll do my commandments. Because how is God going to keep you? Because his word is in you. And that's what's guarding and protecting you. It ain't no hoo-hoo. He's not doing no magical, you know what I'm saying, waving of the hands to guard you and protect you. It's the word that's going to do it. But the word got to be in you to do it. Read them first John 5:18. We got a lot of things to hit, man. You know what I'm talking about? People think of pimps on movies and TVs and just gorilla pimp. Yeah, it's a different type. And more so what we're talking about is not the actual game. Not the dudes that's in the game, but the mindset that comes with that save dealing with women. Because you hear people say all the time, I'm getting pimped in the music business, or I'm getting pimped on a job. What does that mean? You're being exploited. Why are you being exploited? Because you're not in the position of power. So what happens in that regard when we talk about the word? Satan will pimp you because you're not in the position of power. Why are you not in the position of power? Because you didn't keep the king's commandments. So therefore you don't have mastery. So therefore what 1 John 5:18 finna say? It can't do nothing for you. Go ahead.
We know that whosoever is born of Elohim sin not, but he that is begotten of Elohim keep himself.
He guard himself.
And the wicked one touch him not.
And the wicked one can't touch him. Why can't the wicked one touch you? Ecclesiastes 8:5, since I keep referencing it, just so they know that's off the paper. And after we already read Galatians, did we read Galatians 5:22 yet? Hell no. We're going to read that in a moment. Go ahead.
So whoso keeps the commandments shall feel no evil thing,
Mhm.
and a wise man's heart discern both time and judgment.
Make it 4 then.
Where the word of a king is, there's power.
There's power.
And who may say unto him, what do you?
So immediately, right, when they say where the word of the king is, there's power. And that word power is mastery in Hebrew. Where the word of the Malik is, there is mastery. Read in 1 Corinthians 9 real quick, man. About verse 24, man. Listen what the man say, man.
Know you not that they which run in a race run all, but one receive the prize.
One.
So run that you may obtain.
Go get it then.
Every man that strive for the mastery is
strive for the who?
For the mastery
is what?
Temperate.
He got self-control. He got what?
Temperate in all things.
If you strive for the mastery, which we just heard in Ecclesiastes 8 and 4, you got self-control in everything. Come on, man. Go ahead.
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we are
incorruptible.
I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beat the air.
So we don't know what we know what we fighting against. Listen.
But I keep under my body.
I keep what?
Keep under my body.
And I bring it into what?
Subjection.
That I what?
That's by any means when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
And there it is. What the word of the king is, there's power, there is mastery. What that mastery is self-control. What that self-control is, man, that's pimping, man, because now you pimping your flesh. Your flesh doesn't dictate to you, you dictate to that, which is by the aspect of why he turn these stones into bread. Man, you don't dictate to me because you thought I was hungry. You thought I was going to respond out of my flesh, which is going to get us back to what we're going to read in Romans 7. Because the life is in the flesh. You know what I'm talking about? It wasn't no life in them stones. Them stones couldn't get life, because if they could, they would. You know how we supposed to know ain't no life in them stones, man? Because when he made Adam, he made him what? Flesh and bone. He make him flesh and stone. You know what I'm talking about? He made him flesh and bone. Ain't no life in no stone. That's why he say turn them into bread. Take these stones and make them give life. Them stones can't give life. That's why I say if you got this stony heart in you, you can never have life. So let me take that out. Instead of writing these life-giving words on stone, let me write them on flesh then. You know what I'm talking about? Because the words on the stone gave life, but the stone don't give life. You know what I'm saying? That's what people are missing. In which Paul gonna reference this in Romans 7. The words on the stone give life, but the stone don't give life. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to take them words that was on that stone and put them in flesh. And you know how we know that? Because he spoke a word and Adam was made a living soul. Simple. And how do we get to that point of what we discussed? Got to get rid of the kidneys. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's where the seat of your emotions and affections live. And as long as they present, you're going to have a problem. Huh? Ain't that right? That's what it is. Galatians 5 and 22 though. Remember, man, he that trusteth in Yahuah will never cease from yielding fruit. That's what he said, then. Mm-hmm. Come on with it then.
But the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy,
shalom, long-suffering,
gentleness,
meekness,
goodness,
self-control.
Meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Ain't no law. And that means because people get where there is no law, there's no transgression. People get that game there twisted. So they take that to mean, well, the law don't say you can't smoke weed, so that ain't no sin. See, I know you're unlearned when you say that. That's not your fault. I don't blame you for it, because ain't nobody taught you no better. But where there's no law, there's no transgression. Praise be to Yahuah. All of us here know this because we know that in the garden there was no law, so there was no transgression. Transgression means rebellion. How can you rebel if there is no law, man? You can't. So we know this is referring to Adam, because we know the law wasn't made for a righteous man, but for who? Sinners. For sinners. So where there's no law, there's no transgression. This ain't talking about, well, it don't say two women can't be together, so it ain't no sin. I know that you are a spiritual simpleton. And that you act, but see, that's the difference, right? Again, thanks be to Yahuah and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, because he's allowed us to understand the testimony to where we understand that 28 in the 4. So since we understand that straight drop, these things are easy to grasp. Individuals who reject that testimony and things of that sort, they're gonna be like, nah, them niggas trip. And they get like, listen, man, I always tell y'all this here, and you can't be offended by that. If they reject it, then let them reject it. What that got to do with you? We just have, I just, like, why y'all get offended because somebody don't believe like you believe, man? Why that bother you? Why you upset about that? Why you getting angry about it? Have you forgotten that he said many are called and few are chosen? Have you forgotten about that? Have you forgotten that the text say, blessed is whom Yahuah chosen calls to approach unto him? Have we forgotten about that? Have we forgotten that he said no man can come unto me except the Father draw him? So that means at this particular juncture, why are you getting mad about it, man? He said he that have ears to hear, let him what? That means if he can't hear, he ain't got no ears. That man said he that is Elohim hears Elohim's words. He said you hear them not because you not a Elohim. He said my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. You hear me not because you not of my sheep. What you mad for? The man done told you what the play is. I don't be understanding. They don't agree with you, you get mad. Listen, we were talking about this other day, right? They don't agree with you, niggas be ready to fight. Threaten each other, right? Now, in the room I be in, niggas got into it the other day, right? Niggas hit low blows, talking about niggas churning and all that, right? You know what I told these niggas, man? This from my point of view. I don't give a damn about nobody saying nothing about nobody churning. You know why? Because once you disrespect a grown man, you can't tell that how a grown man, oh, you shouldn't have went that far with that disrespect. You shouldn't have started no disrespect, and you wouldn't have got no disrespect in return. That's what people's problem is. Didn't this man tell you you'll reap what you sow? You can't be around here sowing disrespect and don't think you ain't going to reap none back. And I was telling this earlier, right? When I heard Wallow, Gilly cousin, say this here, man, now he did 4 times as long as I did, but this is a fact that I know. That one of the most respectful places on the face of this earth is the state and or federal correctional system in the United States of America. You understand me? Because you got a bunch of men in an enclosed environment under high levels of stress, frustration, exhibit, no, because he worked in it. And niggas is excuse me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and ain't nobody gonna look at him because he weak. My bad, I apologize. Nobody look at these people as weak for doing this here, man. Maybe the young kids, the jits, because the jits don't know no better. They wild. But when you get men who are mature, late 20s and up, very respectful. Because they know, man, it could pop off on here at any time. Any hint of disrespect, and boy, somebody could die. You know what I'm saying? Any hint of disrespect. Because it's not going to be tolerated. And since we know that, you're going to conduct yourself with respect. You know what I'm saying? So when you live in this world of the internet, people feel like that they can be extremely disrespectful because ain't nobody that'll slap you in your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's a lot of people, you can talk tough over the phone, you can talk tough typing on your laptop, on your phone, but boy, 99.9% of these people who talk crazy like that, well, you're not going to say that to nobody's face. And you know how I know this here? Because you talking like that, ain't no way in the world you've been outside in the midst of no action, because you would know better than that. You would know better than that, because some of the most violent men I ever seen are some of the most respectful people you would ever encounter. They don't go about seeking no problems. They don't go around disrespecting people because they know how far they willing to take it. And that's what I've always told y'all, man. You got to leave sinners alone because they ain't got no restraint. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I would tell y'all. I was telling that sister, y'all need to pull up on these men and whoop them. Listen, man, some people willing to go somewhere you ain't willing to go. Like I told you, man, you calling somebody, he put his hands on me, he did such and such, such and such. As a man, you got to ask yourself, I know that's my sister, auntie, mama, cousin, whoever she might be. Am I willing to die tonight? Am I willing to take a man's life tonight? Because if you know you're not willing to do that, man, you need to call the police. Now, see, you'll let a goofy nigga convince you that makes you a weak man because you know I ain't willing to kill nobody today. And you know why you can't think like that? Because you moving by your emotions because you ain't crucified him. So you'll let a crash dummy convince you to be a crash dummy and ruin your whole life because you feel like you need to prove something to a jackass and an idiot. Because you didn't weigh this out. Well, you talking about violence, my G. You talking about stepping to another man. And you step into this man not considering in your mind, I'm willing to die tonight about this. I'm willing to take a life tonight about this. That's how serious my respect is. You ain't even thinking about that because you moving like a child off a whim and a feeling. Man, grown men don't do that, bro. Grown men don't do that, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like, what is you on? Man, listen, when I said that to them women, man, them women looking at each other, you scared, and I ain't scared, I ain't no fool. Because that ain't clicking in your brain like, boy, I gotta have it in my mind. I'll kill this nigga tonight. Am I ready to go do the rest of my life in prison by this? Yeah, I am. So I'm going. Am I willing to die tonight? Listen, man, let me tell y'all something, man. When I was selling crack, the day that I decided I was selling crack, I said, I'm willing to go to prison by this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sit here and say, oh, we're still dope, we're gonna be cool, we're gonna get some money. Man, I ain't no sucker. Even at 21 years old, boy, I knew what I was getting myself. I weighed that out. But if you finna do 1, 2, 3, this would come with it. You willing to go to prison by this? I am. Well, we out here then. This is a conversation I had with myself, man. Hey, man, Kiana got to eat, man. Mom Deuce need XYZ, man. You willing to put your life on the line for this here? I am. Then we out here then. That's what, and we taking it dead serious. Because I know my life on the line. This ain't no junk we just doing. This ain't just to be cool. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have mercy on this soul, man. I remember my homeboy, he had me one day, man. He thought I was selling dope to impress the chick I was already fooling with. I'm like, she already down with me. She don't even want me to do this. Do you think I'm stupid enough to risk my life and my freedom to impress a woman, man? You understand how lame that is, bro? There is no woman on this planet that I have ever seen that is beautiful enough that I would be willing to risk my life and freedom just to impress her. You got me all the way messed up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, y'all have mercy on us. Old boy, Roz and Renee did not raise no goofy. I'm not. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. And say, yo, that's how I am. That's why I always mind my business. It's never that serious. He said he was just telling my wife that's more strength and power, knowing how to diffuse a situation, trying to attack. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And the text you that. That's why he say, blessed are the peacemakers. It takes a lot more skill, strength, dexterity, and wisdom, which is why he told you to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, to be able to resolve conflict than to stoke it. It doesn't take much energy to stoke it. That's why he tells you that anger in the bosom of fools. Because when you allow the emotion of anger to cause you how to behave and dictate, you are a fool. You ain't strong, you weak. That's why Bleak said that on 1-900 Hustler, you know, the strong move quiet, the weak start riots. You know what I'm saying? So when people tell you, oh, they done did us like this and we need to riot and tear stuff up, you already showed me you in a position of weakness. Because the strong don't riot. Let me be quiet, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to defend somebody. Say the art of ignoring folk is my best weapon. Mine also, because that ignoring killing the most. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people don't fool with Jay-Z right now, understandably so. But in the song, he said something, man, which is some real talk. He said to make a nigga die bleeding is nothing. He said if you can make somebody die breathing, then you saying something. And that's some real nigga activity. You understand what I'm telling you? When you ignore an individual, you making them die breathing because they dying because they desperate for your attention. They're desperate for your response. And you continue to move with righteousness, kadoshness, long-suffering, meekness, and goodness that is encapsulated, the spirit of Yahuah that kill them while they breathing. Because the one thing that they want is they want that reaction, man. They want that response and interaction, and when you don't kill it, give it to them as if you stabbing them in their face over and over and over again, and they dying every day, and they can't do nothing about it. That's how you kill a whole nigga. You know what I'm saying? You kill them while they breathe. Let them breathe. Die slow. You know what I'm talking about? But this ain't no physical death, man. You're going to die slow because I ain't going to feed your sickness. What I always told y'all, just because somebody give you an invitation to a party don't mean you got to go. And a lot of y'all accept invitations to parties that you know you ain't got no business going to. Why you keep doing that? You know these people goofy. Colossians 3:5, man. Listen, man, you get rid of them emotions and lust, man. You crucify them, man. Man, you done won 95% of the battle. What you? Come on, give me Colossians 3:5. Now he read Galatians 5, just Galatians 5:22 again, because it was a pause in between, a long pause, if you would. You know what I'm talking about? So let's run that back.
But the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, shalom, long suffering,
what else?
Gentleness,
what
goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
And those?
They that are from Mashiach have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts.
Crucified the flesh with the what?
Affections and lusts.
Colossians 3:5, man. Listen to it.
Mortify therefore your members which are upon earth. Fornication,
Paul,
uncleanness.
remember we were talking about what that mortify means. It means to crucify and feel intense pain. See, I mentioned this Wednesday. This is what nobody want to do. You want to boast in the crucifixion of Yahushua HaMashiach, and you want to say how much you love him for the sacrifice that he did for you. And I'm glad that East mentioned that we could share that when we looked at, like, from the physiological standpoint, what his death was like and how excruciating it was. And the fact that this man suffocated on his own blood, this man experienced intense pain. You understand what I'm telling you? And you niggas won't feel intense pain to get rid of things on the inside. Ain't nobody hanging you from no tree, blood. You ain't got to go through none of that. But we don't be wanting to go. Remember, he said, gather my saints together who have made a covenant with me through sacrifice. That means you're going to have to go through intense pain. And then nobody want to talk about that. But see, the intense pain is not necessarily life circumstances. That intense pain might be giving up that stuff that you desiring that ain't going to make you perfect because you worry about the wrong thing. You worry about external instead of internal. You worry about, well, this person doing this. What you worry about that for? You know the thing that this had me tripping, man, is people only concerned with somebody else doing when it's something they want to do. I don't see you worrying about no punk taking no wee-wee in his butt. You know why? Because you ain't trying to take no wee-wee in your butt. But if you want to smoke some reefer, why he get to smoke reefer and I can't? Why you worry about it? If you believe that that's going to lead him to a road to hell, what you trying to jump on that road for? Shalom, Dad. Like, that don't even make no sense. Man, I tell you, man, I've been in this thing a long time. And you know one thing I ain't never been concerned with? What another nigga doing. I'm not concerned with that. Because you know why? Ain't none of my business. Ain't none of my business. I've told y'all this before, right? Some of the things that we do you know that the mass majority of people in the world don't do that? You know what I'm talking about? A mass majority. And I ain't never looked at none of them who don't do certain things and be like, oh, them niggas ain't in the truth. They ain't in the Lord. I don't even think like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that everybody's taught different. You know what I'm saying? Stuff be different. I'm not looking at where we different at. I'm looking at where we can be able to agree at for the simple purpose of maybe you can be an example of what it is that you stand for, and that would persuade them to come over to what you're doing. But don't nobody ever think about that. You know why? Because everybody wanted to point the finger and condemn. Ain't nobody trying to show any example of, hey, man, what I got going on is what it is, man. You don't consider that. You know Yahushua didn't walk around pointing out nothing until the people came messing with him. And the only reason why them people came messing with him is because it wasn't because of what he was doing. They were trying to maintain power and control and influence and wealth. That's it. That's the only thing they were concerned with. When you hear a bunch of grown men say, we're going to lose our place in the nation, they never were concerned with their God. They never was concerned with the people. They never was concerned with the word. They were concerned with their own selfish motivation and gain. So that's why he had to point that out, man. Beware the scribes and Pharisees. The 11 of them is hypocrisy. They unfaithful. Oh, remember, they look like withered sepulchres. They're beautiful on the outside, but inside they're full of rottenness and dead men's bones. And we got to do better. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew 12:4. That's right. Run it for them. Hebrew 12:4, man. You can make it one on general principle.
Say, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses,
that's right,
let us lay aside every weight and sin which do so easily beset us.
Indeed.
And let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
That's a fact.
Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before
For the what that was set before him?
For the joy that was set
before. What
did
he do?
Endured the state.
And did what?
Despising the shame.
He hated the shame.
And is set down at the right hand of the throne of Elohim.
Listen.
Consider him that endured such contradiction.
Consider him that, remember, such contradiction against his what?
Of sinners against himself.
Remember, because he said if you walk contrary to him, he walked contrary to you. This man did no sin, man. This man contradicted himself for your sake. Listen, man, I don't even think people understand what that is. I don't think most people understand. Do you understand what it is to go contrary to who you are, to benefit somebody who didn't deserve you being contrary to yourself? And you are strictly going contrary to yourself in order to deliver an unrepentant, unremorseful, hard-hearted, disingenuous, repugnant behaving group of individuals. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down. Like I don't think we sit there and pause and consider that this man went against his own self. That man law said, if you walk contrary to me, I will walk contrary to you. And he contradicted himself. Let me tell y'all what contradiction mean by definition, man. So y'all just understand it by pure definition what it means, man. Let me see what Russ say. Just like Saul when he got cut off, he said, God, give me the glory I once had. Yeah, go on, man. You can't get it now. You ain't want it. When you look at the contradict, to say or assert the opposite of a statement, or to be inherently different from another fact or theory that cannot be true at the same time. Now we know he became sin who knew no sin. That is literally contrary. And he did that to be contradictory to people who were condemned to death. Because we were talking about this other day, right? You know, that original sin and all that type of stuff. Man, that's white man stuff. Because God made man upright. Man sought out to do his own thing. There's no original sin being passed down. The only thing of sin that's being passed down is death. You know what I'm saying? But people take them passages and run off to make you believe that you just this inherently evil, no good, dirty-faced bastard. Now, there's nothing good in your flesh, but you don't have to yield to that. Now, if you ain't never heard no word and you don't know no word, then guess what's the only thing you gonna yield to is your flesh, because that's the only thing you gonna know. Obviously. I only say that because when we were talking about it, right, I can see why a lot of people walk around self-defeated, self-condemning, and so on and so forth. If this the type of stuff that these people teaching that God doctrine is. Because nowhere in this text does he say there's original sin. Especially when you consider, he said, I made you upright. If I made you upright, ain't no original sin, man. Ain't no sin nature. You made that up. Boy, that's a damnable heresy. You understand me? That's a damnable doctrine. Boy, that's a doctrine that comes from straight from the pits of Hades itself. And we got to stop telling people that, man. That's destructive. Because that make people feel like, oh, I ain't gonna never get right, so why try? That's not what this book say, man. Man, y'all already know this here. Do y'all know how much pushback you get when you tell people you can live your life without sinning? And I be thinking to myself, why do y'all want to sin so bad? Now, when I say that, I mean that in this regard, like, and I've always asked y'all this question: what is it out here that's contrary to the will of God that you want to do so badly that you willing to risk going to hell, but you don't do nothing to risk going to jail? Now, how you got more respect for man's punishment, condemnation, whatever the case may be, but you ain't got that same respect for who you say is your God, who you say is your Father, who you say is your Redeemer. How that makes sense, man. And why don't nobody never ask nobody these questions, man? Because I ask people, well, what sin is it that you want to do so bad? Now I get it if you got an emotional outburst. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about stuff like that, because that can happen. You lose self-control. We're gonna take that one there, put that to the side. We're talking about willfully, wantingly, and diligently seek. What sin is you seeking after so bad? You want to commit adultery that bad, bro? You want to sleep with your relatives or something? You want to be a punk? You want to worship idols, so you want to be a killer, huh? You a thief? Oh, so you want to slander people. What is it that you want to do so bad? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Yeah, I'm talking about for people in the word, bro. I ain't even considering nobody who ain't in the word, because I can't even hold them to that standard, Brother Joseph. I can't even hold them to that standard, because that's a covenant that they ain't agreed to partake in. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be wondering, what is it you want to do so bad that you can't stop? Now, granted, I'm not talking about people who fresh in it. You know what I'm saying? Because the word of the king ain't there, so you ain't got that mastery yet, because that word ain't there yet. But if you've been in the word 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, what is it that you want to do so bad? And why is these goofy niggas telling you that you always gonna be like this? And why you listen to these niggas, man? Why you let somebody tell you that? Nobody ever asked themselves these questions, man. Y'all have never asked these people if the book telling you can be without sin and this nigga telling you always gonna sin, why are you listening to him and not what God said to do? Not even say what God said to do, who God said you could eat. Now, I've rationalized this in my mind over the course of time. On the natural side of things, I know that most people have never been told, specifically from a man, that they can be something other than what the world say that they can be. And I'm not just saying it as platitudes, son, you could be this here. I'm talking about look you in the eyes and say, oh yeah, you could do that. And you know how you know you can do that? Because here's the frame for it where you can do it. And I know you can do it because it's in you. And I believe in you. The only limitation is the limitation you put on yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, it's somebody I know. They just told me they were working remote. Got a job offer to work for the MEAC conference. You know what I'm saying? But I had already been telling them, I'm like, you've been procrastinating and hesitating. Because you're saying, I don't want to get stuck here, but you playing games. And you know why you playing games? Because you want to do it, but you're scared of the unknown, man. You can't be scared of the unknown, man. You didn't put in all this work to sit around and not succeed. You know what I'm saying? You didn't put and invest this time and take this internship and go here. You ain't study no word. You ain't sit back and identify the things that's against God and say, I'm going to take his word and put it to death to fail. You ain't do all that. So why are you listening to these people, man? Why are you listening to these people, man? Like, you gotta stop doing that. Because if your father, I'm talking about your father in heaven or even your natural father, see, and again, because most people didn't have a natural father to look him in the face and say, you be like, hey, well, you can do that. What you go ahead and hell at? And I'm talking about matter of factly and plainly. I'm not pushing you to do this. I'm not telling you to do this because I believe that you're going to fail. I know you can succeed, but do you know it? Because if you don't know it, it don't matter if I know it. You're going to fail if you don't know it. I know you can do it. So you know why I say that what I'm saying right now? Because I know what this word say. And I know that if you sitting right here right now to be able to hear this man word, man, at this particular juncture in your life, that means he gave you an ear and you heard the call. That means I know you can do it. You just limiting yourself for whatever reason. Why are you doing that? The limit ain't coming from Satan. The limit ain't coming from your family. The limit ain't coming from your friends. The limit's coming from within. You know what I'm saying? You limited in yourself because you are scared to believe that you can actually succeed. What you scared of? Why you scared of? We ain't talking about success in the earth, man. We talking about heavenly success, man. Why you scared of that? What you holding on to? Man, that desire you holding on to don't mean nothing to you. Didn't he just say lay aside the weight and the sin that easily beset you? It's stopping you. What you holding it for? You wouldn't hold on to a hot pan. You do what? Let it go. So you got to look at every single solitary affection and lust. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever the case may be, you better think about it like that hot pan with them greens in it and be like Teddy P. You know what he told you to do? Let it go. I know it sounds like it's not that easy. Man, I'm going to tell you something, man. Letting go is easy. Developing the mindset to let it go is what is difficult. The letting go is the easy part. Ain't nothing hard about that. You know what I'm saying? But developing the thought process that you can let it go and that you be willing to let it go, that's where the difficulty come in at. And that difficulty come in from the limitations that we place upon ourselves. That limitation your God did not place upon you. Nor did he insinuate that he put a limitation on you, nor did he desire to put a limitation on you. Anybody who coming to put a limitation on your perfection and godliness comes straight from the pits of hell. I would recommend that you ignore them. You know what I'm talking about? Because we were supposed to read that in 1 Timothy 6:1. So guess what we're going to do, Civic? Read it. And we'll finish Colossians 3 in a moment. And we'll get to Romans 7 in a moment. And let Yahuah be esteemed, man. Listen, man, this is the greatest opportunity that any of us could ever be granted in life because you got access to eternal life. Bump what these other niggas talking about. You niggas talking about a kingdom, or we gonna rule over. I ain't worried about ruling over no people. If you with God, you already know you're gonna rule over them people. So that's not my concern. Listen, I've been told you, man, the first time I read Luke 18, man, and this man say, and though she come to me consistently, will I not avenge her speedily? He said, yeah, I am going to avenge her speedily. He said, nevertheless, will the son of Adam find faith upon the earth? Once I seen that, I ain't got to come crying to this man every day and every night. Talking about what you going to do to these people. I already know what he going to do to these people, so I ain't concerned with it. So let me continue to perfect my faith. That's what he told me to do. He said, if I do that, then guess what? I'll be straight. So I'm not worried about them people. I'm not concerned with them. They gonna pay. The man law told you they foot gonna slide in due time. I ain't worried about them. I'm not concerned with that. You know what I'm saying? And again, and that's ruling over yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only way God can rule over you is when you allow him to rule over you. When you allow the word to rule over you, is when you take the mastery that comes from what the word of the king is. And that's when you start walking in that is a man true pimping, man. You understand? I'm going to pimp my flesh. My flesh not going to pimp me. I'm going to pimp it. That means my flesh ain't going to tell me what to do. I'm going to tell my flesh what to do. And we can read exactly that in Romans 7, whether you believe it or not. Yeah, that's what he said. I'm going to read the verse where he said it right now. Oh, wretched man that I am. Who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Elohim through Yahuah HaMashiach our Lord. So with the mind, I myself serve the law of Elohim. But with the flesh, the law of sin. The flesh going to serve death. It can't do nothing to do that because you're going to die. But the word in your heart. So therefore, I'm going to serve that. And my mind ain't going to go contrary to the word because I hold fast to it because he wrote it on a heart of flesh and not tables of stone. He wrote it on that which has life. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we own. And you know how we got to get that? Take that caul off that liver, man. Take that foreskin off that heart, man. Go and take that off. I already know that. He say that men ought to always to pray and not to faint. He didn't say to pray for the vengeance. He used that parable as a statement of this woman came to me continually saying, avenge me of my adversary, and though I bear long with them. He said, let me go. He said, hear what the unjust judge saith. He said, should not Elohim avenge his very elect who come to him day and night, though he bear long with them? He said, yeah, I'm going to avenge them speedily. Your faith is not worried about if he's going to avenge you. You think that's having faith in God. That don't mean you got faith in God, man, if you don't believe the other aspects of it. I got faith to know he going to kill him, so I ain't worried about it. That's not my concern. It's not my concern. My concern is to be perfected by the word of Elohim to show forth the fruits thereof, not worrying about the condemnation of sinners. I already know what sinners going to get. I can read it in the book. So I'm not worried about them. That's our problem. You focus on sinners instead of focus on God. I ain't worried about them crackers or nobody who look like them. We be worrying about the wrong thing, man. Wrong thing. He say, man, hey, we look for a new heaven, a new earth where dwell righteousness, man. We ain't worried about all that because we already know what's going to happen. He ain't no liar. So he already know my enemy going to be trodden down like mire in the street. I ain't worried about that. But if I'm not perfected by this word, I'm going to get trodden with him. I'm going to get trodden with him. And that's what happens when you get so hyper-focused on something. I'm not worried about flesh and blood, man. I'm not worried about them people, man. He already told me what's going to happen. What might I do for you, man? Hey, what can I do for you? Come here. What is this, man? What you got on your forehead? That's a cut? That's your flesh? Go. Yeah, I ain't worried about the people, man. Come on with it, blood.
Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor, that the name of Elohim and his doctrine be not blasphemed.
Not blasphemed.
And they that have believing masters, let them not despise them because they are brethren, but rather do them service because they are faithful and beloved, partakers of the benefit. These things teach and exhort.
Go ahead.
If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Yahuah HaMashiach, what he said to the doctrine which is according to godliness,
that's right.
He is proud.
Remember that the doctrine according, that's faithfulness. Faithfulness, man. I'm not praying for vengeance in these last days. I don't need to pray for vengeance. That's not what I'm praying for. I don't have to pray for that. You want to pray for that? That's your business. You know what I'm saying? I would rather pray for people to be perfected, that their flesh be mortified, that their faith be increased, that their wisdom be amplified, that understanding be granted. Because if you ain't got understanding, you worthy of death, that they might receive the Ruach HaKodesh and be made whole. I ain't got to be sitting around here praying for no vengeance on these people all day and all night when I already know that's a done daughter. The man done spoken, so it's going to be done exactly as he said it. So that's not my concern. I'm more focused on the people who want to be drawn to God and be perfected of God than be worried about the people who hate God. I'm not concerned with that. If he said I'm going to render them double for what they did, then I know they're going to get double then. I'm not concerned with that. I'm not worried about that. That's a done deal. Yeah, but your blood ain't been shed, and that's my point. While you crying for vengeance, when them crackers come to kill you by God, is you gonna stand 10 toes flat, my nigga? When the people tell you, man, die for, you either gonna serve Satan or you gonna die for God. Man, praying for vengeance ain't gonna do nothing for you in that day, man. Is you gonna stand, is you gonna fold like a hoe? Because that's the part we talking about. Praying for vengeance, but you ain't got no faith to stand when these people say serve God or die. What you gonna do? You're going to have belief that you actually going to resurrect from the dead and be able to see his face with your face. And nobody ain't got that. Because most of these whole niggas going to fold and tell on everybody. Because you niggas don't want to die. If you ain't going to die to sin, you ain't going to die for the word, man. I've been telling you that for a decade. Anybody who won't die to sin is not going to die for the word, man. Anybody who won't let the word take them captive and be a slave and prisoner of Yahuah HaMashiach is not going to go to prison for the word, man. Because you're going to seek to save yourself because it ain't in you. It's on you, but it ain't in you. Because you worry about the wrong thing. Satan is already condemned. The nations is already condemned. The kingdom's already condemned. We ain't focus on that which is damned. We focus on that which give life. And if you don't understand that, well, you need to put the book down. You need to put the book down. Read them 2 Corinthians, 2 Peter, man, 3 and 7. This nigga tripping. This nigga tripping, man. This nigga out of his rabbit mind.
Said, but Shamahim and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved on the fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Ungodly men. That's what he said, ain't it? Mm-hmm. He said it's reserved. Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead.
Say, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
What's that?
That one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years.
It's 1,000 years.
1,000 years is one day.
One day.
The Lord is not slack concerning.
He's not slack concerning what?
His promise.
What he is though?
And some men count slackness, but is long suffering to us word.
For what cause?
Not willing that any should perish.
But that what?
All should come to repentance.
But we.
The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
Thief in the night.
Which the Shamahim shall pass away.
Because that man say, what purpose is the day of God, the day of Yahuah to you? It's a day of gloominess and darkness. It's as if a day if a man ran from a lion and got met by a bear, put his hand on the wall, got bit for a serpent. You got to be more food than a white-faced mule and goofy of the goofiest if you looking forward to that. Listen what he say, though.
They shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
But we
also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
But listen what he say.
Seeing then all these things shall be dissolved. What manner of persons
should you be in all manner of what?
Kadosh conversation.
All manner of set apart conduct and faithfulness, man. Listen what he say after that.
Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Elohim, wherein Shamahim being on fire shall be dissolved. The elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Fervent.
Nevertheless, we according to his promise.
We according to his what?
To his promise.
To his what?
His promise.
What we look for?
A new Shamahim and a new earth.
Where dwell what?
Righteousness.
So we looking where life dwell at. We ain't worried about this. See, we according to his promise, he promised us life. He ain't promised us damnation and condemnation. So we ain't worried about that. And that's my point. We not worried about that. We ain't worried about none of that. We ain't worried about none of that. And if you believe you called to pray for it, then pray for it then. Because you ain't got to try to persuade and convince me, because I don't care what you pray for. And I understand, Mama. They don't understand. Mama still say, you know, what is this? She said that they haven't lived the life of war. Warriors are tired and considered it done as written. Absolutely. I already know it's done. What Paul said, I believe as he has spoken unto me. I already know that's done. I already know that's done. So that's not my focus. See, we be so focused on, oh, he gonna destroy the nations. You don't even know your God yet. That ain't how he told you get the Ruach HaKodesh praying for that. He said, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth where righteousness dwells. Guess what's in the new heaven and new earth? Death been swallowed up by victory. I'm going to wipe away all tears. There'll be no pain. You'll have right to the tree of life, and he that eats from that going to do what's in it, live forever. We're not worried about that. Nigga want me to be walking around here mad and upset all day. That's why you niggas ain't joyful. You know what I'm talking about? The joy of Yahuah, your strength. You join in the destruction of some man instead of joining in the righteousness of your God. That's got to be the most idiotic, asinine, retarded, dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I done heard some dumb things, man. A lot of dumb things to be exact. Come on, what I got you?
2 Peter 3, then 1 Timothy 6, unless we go.
Yeah, finish 1 Timothy 6. I get it. I understand, though. Listen, I understand why he feel that way. And this is how a lot of organizations, that's what I'm talking about with the gimmicks. They ain't got no word, so the only thing they can draw you in is the nation's going to be destroyed. They ain't got no word. That's all they got to draw you into because they know you oppressed, you downtrodden. You know these people done killed your children, they done murdered your people, and you want vengeance for that. And understandably so. And rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get that twisted. Let's not get that twisted in the least bit because you already know where we stand at with that, but we ain't got to be focused on that. Because when he said, I'm going to avenge them speedily, I already know, consider that done, blood. That's a wrap. The same way that he said, he that believes on me shall never taste death. Okay, we believe that. We believe that. When he said, all sinners shall be taken out of the earth, we believe that. So when I know that, my focus on God, I ain't got to focus on them. I'll never have my mind focused on flesh more than I focus on Ruach, bro. That's crazy to me. Don't even make sense at this juncture of my life, man. Lord willing, in 11 days, I'm going to be 46 years old, man. I'm not worried about them people, man. You understand? You know what I'm worried about? That every man and woman on here, if the Lord see fit, that they faith be increased, that they receive the Ruach HaKodesh, that my son have a mind that the Lord see fit to serve his maker, that he can be stronger and better in the word than I could ever imagine that I could be. The same way that I would desire for every man on here to be stronger in the word than ever I could imagine to be. And you know why I start that thought process the way I don't look at none of y'all no different than I look at my flesh and blood, son? Because I done sat down here and ministered the word to some of y'all for a decade plus. Why wouldn't I want you to be a greater and better version of what the Lord allowed me to be able to do? That you could be stronger than I could be, better than I can be. That's crazy not to. Now, let's sit here and talk about death to the white man. Nigga, I don't care about them crackers, bro. I don't sit around thinking about white people like that, bro. I don't. I don't sit around thinking about Arab people like that. White people is not on my mind when I get up in the morning. Arab people ain't on my mind when I get up in the morning. Hispanics and Asians ain't on my mind when I get up in the morning. Or Yahuah Elohim Bahashem Yahusha. This is on my mind in the morning. You understand what I'm telling you? That's what's on my mind in the morning, man. I ain't thinking about them people, man. I ain't worried about the people, man. I ain't say, read this parable for this goofy nigga, man. This nigga getting on my goddamn nerves. You know what I'm saying? Read it in Luke 18:1. Because no time did he tell you pray for vengeance. That ain't what that man said. He said you ought to pray always and not to faint. Then he expounded on the fact that you've been praying and you about to fall out. And he telling you ain't got to fall out because I got your back, weirdo. God damn.
Said he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray
and not to faint.
Saying there was in the city a judge which feared not Elohim.
He didn't fear God.
Neither regarded man.
And he ain't care about man.
There was a widow.
When he said regard, he didn't consider or respect man. Go ahead.
There's a widow in that city, and she came unto him.
Now, if it's a widow, you know who the widow is. Yasharal is the widow because her husband died. Go ahead, man.
Avenge me of my adversary.
Avenge me of my who?
Of my adversary.
And what he said.
And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I fear not Elohim.
I don't fear God.
Nor regard man.
Nor do I consider man.
Because his widow troubled me.
She troubling me.
I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming.
She weary me.
And the Lord said,
Hear what the unjust judge saith.
And shall not Elohim avenge his own elect?
Shall he not avenge his own elect who though he bear along with, who calling them day and night, though he bear along with them? Go ahead.
I tell you that he will avenge them
speedily.
Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, shall he find faith?
So guess what? If I just told you I'm going to avenge you speedily, will I find faith in God when I get here? So you think this talk about praying for vengeance, that man ain't say that one time. Not one time did he say that. He said, I'm going to avenge you speedily. Nevertheless. So he's making the separation. If I just told you I'm going to avenge you speedily, will I find the Amunah, Aman, and Amah, the faithfulness, the steadfastness, the reliability in God when I get here? Let me not even say when I get here, when I make my presence known. That's what he said, bro. Not one time did he say, pray for vengeance. That's not what he said. He's showing you a difference. That if there's an unrighteous man who don't fear God, don't respect God, nor care about man, he say, let me do this, though this woman wearied me. She troubling me. And he say, God saying, this ain't even no trouble to me. I'm going to kill all these people. Reading the law form. Deuteronomy 32 and 35, man. Amen, man. Read it in the law form.
To me belong vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time.
Hold on. I said 35. Make it 33. You walk around here tight this here. Man, you tripping, blood.
The wine is the poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps. Is not this laid up in store with me and sealed up among my treasures?
Go ahead.
To me belong vengeance. And
to me belong what?
Vengeance and recompense.
Who does vengeance belong to? So that you know why vengeance belong to him? Because they didn't sin against us. They sinned against him. They sinned against him. That's why vengeance belonged to him. That's why I ain't got to worry about it. Look here, man. Ain't no trespass like trespassing against God. This same book say that if a man sin against another man, the judges will entreat for him. But if he sin against God, who gonna pray for him? What do people that sin against God, man? I ain't got to worry about no vengeance, bro. They got bigger problems. Bigger problems. And that's what everybody got to consider, man. Well, if you sin against God, boy, you got bigger problems, boy. These people that sinned against God. Go ahead, man. Read the rest of it.
Say, to me belong vengeance and recompense. The foot shall slide in due time.
In due time.
For the day of their calamity is at hand.
At hand.
And the things that shall come upon them make haste.
The things that come upon them do what?
Make haste.
I'll avenge them speedily. So he just told you what the law said. And see, if we knew the law like that, we would know that and not be overly concerned with it, because the Yahuah ain't doing nothing but telling you exactly what the law said. I'm going to come see him. But I know you're going to come weary me because you want the vengeance. How long, Elohim, will you bear long with us? They have burnt our synagogues. They've killed us in the street. Because that's a natural human reaction. You know what I'm saying? We got enough sense to know that. That is a natural human reaction. You're being persecuted. You're being afflicted. You're being oppressed. He said, you see oppression in the province? Don't marvel. He that's highest in the highest regarded. So I know he see it. I know he see it. So we, according to his promise, look where there's life at. That's why we talk about them stones in that flesh. That's why you got to take that kill Yah out. We know we already know he see it. So if I believe that he has a just weight and a just balance, that he is a render of all manner of righteousness and judgment, and I know that these people have offended against him according to the people who he swore oath to, then I know he gonna come see them. So you know what I be focused on? What he promised. And you know what he promised me? Life, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, meekness, self-control, long life, gifts from Shamayim, an eternal kingdom that cannot perish, and the ability to look upon his face and live. You think I'm worried about what he gonna do to man, and I got an opportunity to look my maker in the face and live, and you think I'm worried about a cracker? That's backwards, blood. That's backwards. That man said he could take a poor man from a dunghill and set him amongst kings. You think it's a light matter for him to stomp these people out? And that's what you missing. If your faith was strong, you ain't got to be praying for vengeance every day, because the vengeance is already complete. The word done left his mouth, consider it done. And that's what he talking about when will I find faith on the earth? Because if the word done left his mouth, it ain't coming back void, blood. It's not coming back empty. So when he said, I'm going to take that heart of stone out of you and give you a heart of flesh and make you a new spirit and a new heart and give you one way, well, that's done, because it's left his lips. Because if it wasn't so, Civic, he wouldn't have said it. Let Yahuah be esteemed. If it wasn't so, he wouldn't have said it. Not a man that he should lie, nor the son of Adam that he should repent. If Elohim said it, shall he not do it? But we don't believe he gonna do it. That's why you bothering the man all the time. You know the crazy part is, nigga pray for vengeance, never play for wisdom and understanding, never play for the spirit, never play for the word to rest in their heart that they might not sin against him. Don't pray for their brother. Don't carry his burdens, but you worry about what's going to happen to Mr. Charlie. Man, I already know what's going to happen to Mr. Charlie. And speaking of what's going to happen to Mr. Charlie, read that, then we can get to Gog and Magog. Look at the Lord. Look at the segue. What's up, Maya? Look at the segue. Look at the Lord. What time it is? I can't have y'all up all night. You know, we was late, man. The Wi-Fi was tripping. I wasn't tripping. I did it wrong. But I'm going to blame the Wi-Fi.
We're going to do it around 32?
Yeah, man. Read what it read. And no disrespect, blood, because I know you ain't mean no harm. And I understand fully why you want vengeance. And please believe me, I ain't mad at you for wanting it. Because they got to pay. Ain't no doubt about it. They got to pay. Ain't no doubt about that. You know what I'm talking about? It's just that's not my singular focus. We ain't got to be locked in on that. Because we already know that's done. And that was the point, we know that's done. But you misinterpreted what that man said, because that man didn't say pray for vengeance. He let you know the vengeance coming. Have faith in God. And that's what we don't have in these days and times, to be 100% honest with you. Come on with it, man.
What are we going back to?
You need to read 1 Timothy 6, bro.
He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof come envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputing, men of corrupt minds,
who think gain,
destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such, withdraw yourself.
Withdraw yourself. He said, man, they destitute and perverted. That's a part of having a hard heart. You be destitute and perverted. Not in regards to what we were talking about, but what we were talking about beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I know we need to finish Colossians 3. Let's do that there. Then we can touch Gog and Magog for blood, man. I still need to hit Ezekiel 20. There's a reference to Ezekiel 20. I know we ain't in Leviticus 3 as I would desire to. But, you know, y'all willing, we got tomorrow. Y'all remember, too, man, tomorrow, man, doors open at 11:30, man. Y'all willing, we can get live by 12:30.
So mortify therefore your members, which are upon earth. This is verse 5.
Go ahead. This is Colossians, the epistle of the Colossians, chapter 3, verse 5.
So mortify therefore your members, which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, covetousness, which is idolatry.
Idolatry.
For which things sake the wrath of Elohim come on the children of disobedience.
Listen.
In the which you also walked sometime when you lived in them.
Come on.
But now you also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth.
What else?
Lie not one to another.
Don't lie to each other.
Saying that you have put off the old man.
Putting off the who?
The old man with his deeds.
Go ahead.
And I put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him.
What else?
Where there's neither Greek nor Yahudi,
and what else?
Circumcision nor uncircumcision.
But what else?
Barbarian, Scythian, bond or free, but a Mashach is all and in all.
See, now, and I go back, because we got to finish Romans 2. And that's what he's talking about. See, people throwing about the physical circumcision. This man sitting there talking about, man, these people, whether Jew or Gentile, that's all that means when you say circumcision, uncircumcision. Because like we already read in Jeremiah, these people uncircumcised in flesh, Yasharal and Judah uncircumcised in the heart. That's still the problem to this very day. Because see, the difference is you're not boasting in the circumcision in your flesh, as far as your genitals is concerned, but you still doing it because you boasting on being an Israelite 24/7. But your heart's still uncircumcised. So your circumcision is made for uncircumcision. You're going to go to hell just like they going. Just like they going. And we don't be understanding that. And like I said, we don't understand that because of the gimmicks, man. These people ain't got no words, so they can't do nothing but use gimmicks to draw you in. And then when you don't realize that when you've been in it for 5, 10, 15 years, and you realize you still the same raggedy, no good nigga you were when you started, that's when you would go to blaming God instead of sitting back looking at, maybe God was never with the person who was instructing me. Because why am I still the same individual with the same lust and the same thought and the same mind? It ain't God's fault. That's your fault. Go ahead, man.
So put on therefore as the elect of Elohim.
What you need to put on?
Kadash and beloved, bowels of mercy.
So bowels of mercies is a sign of what a spirit is. What else?
Kindness.
That's what Ka said. We talked about that ad nauseum for about a month and a half straight. What else?
Humbleness of mind.
What else?
Meekness.
What else?
Long suffering.
What else?
Forbearing one another.
Forgiving one another. And what else?
If any man have a quarrel against any, even as the Mashiach forgave you, so also do you.
Go ahead.
And above all these things, put on love, which is the bond of perfectness.
Now, we done talked about this before, man, because they want you to feel like you weak because you love each other, man. Man, that's the goofiest thing I ever heard in my entire life. I've always told you, man, like, you know, a lot of people come from environment, ain't nobody love you. Let me, and I know I be telling y'all this here, but I mean it. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Facts. He's been mentioned in Matthew 3 and 9. Bring forth fruits, meet for repentance. But let me tell y'all something, man. I'll tell y'all this repeatedly. You know how many people out here love the pride, man? Why you think it's so much talk about it all the time in quote unquote secular spaces? Why you think so many people on the internet talking about how they looking for love? Why you think you got so many songs with all this here? People be begging people who don't give a damn about them to stay with me, this, that, there, and the third, because your primary caregivers ain't love you properly. So you deprived of it. So because you deprived of it, you go through life feeling like I ain't got to give that. If you give that, that make you weak, or this, that, there, and the third, because you don't come from that. Because ain't nobody love you. Ain't nobody care about you. Nobody taught you to love people who look like you. Nobody taught you to love and care about yourself. You know what I'm talking about? So when you look at other people, you look at them with disdain. So you can't even give love freely. Don't cost you nothing to give no love, man. I always tell you, man, it costs you more to refrain from love because you got to put effort to not show love, man. You got to go out your way to do that. You have to make a conscious thought to say, I'm not going to show love to this individual. I'm not going to do it. Man, this book tell you, man, that man love flow like water, man. He give love freely. You either accept it or reject it. That's your call. But the reason why, now also, caveat, to be fair, we live in a society that teaches you that love is an emotional thing. So therefore, you don't want to give love because you equate love with emotion and you're really trying to protect your emotions. And that I do understand. You know what I'm saying? Because exposing yourself emotionally can be detrimental to your health. When you begin to learn that love is not an emotional thing, but at least a hab is a verb, an action. Praise be to Yahuah. Y'all have mercy on us. So you already know I'm going to tell you for Joanne Bonton, because that's the one thing she taught me before she left this earth in 1987. Is that love is an action word. It is something that you do. It's not something that you necessarily feel. It's something that you do. And then by doing that, this is how this individual knows fundamentally that they love you. And that you love them. It's because when you're searching for a feeling is like searching for drugs, man. Because it's a euphoria. We talk about it. We wrote a book about it. You know what I'm saying? It's the dopamine. That's what you're looking for. We read it Wednesday, man. Elohim is a ruach. Those that worship him must worship him in ruach and in truth. Man, if you coming to serve God in the love of God, man, ain't no dopamine rush that come with that blood. Ain't no dopamine rush. And that's why people don't want it. Because once you begin to equate love with that dopamine rush, a love that don't come with that without that dopamine rush, you look at it as insignificant and you don't want it. You know what I'm saying? They don't want it because I don't feel anything. But what you feeling is that you are a love crackhead. You know what I'm saying? You a junkie. You's a junkie. A full-fledged junkie. Crackhead, fiend, clucker. A custo, a J, a smoker. But you're a smoker for dopamine. You know what I'm saying? The love of Elohim don't come with no dopamine. You know what I'm saying? When you begin to understand and know that, now listen, again, caveat, it's nothing wrong if you want to feel love and you want to feel that dopamine. Oh no, that's not it. I had to promote the show. Once we get to the show, then I'm gonna switch back. But I had to put that up there to promote the show. Well, promote the gathering, I should say. The show is one part of the gathering, which is next week, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Prayerfully, if you're able to come in town, pull up on us. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? You know about that song right there, Civic Selly Sale? It's going down. I'm gonna let you live because you don't look like you listen to no West Coast music. It's okay, nevertheless. That's why he say he give you a peace that surpass all understanding. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of people out here, man, they love deprived. A lot of people ain't never been loved, man. A lot of people ain't never been cared for. A lot of people ain't never had nobody who believed in them. A lot of people ain't never had nobody who encouraged them. A lot of people ain't never had nobody who comforted them. A lot of people ain't never had nobody who instructed them, who showed them when they were wrong. A lot of people ain't never been actually nurtured in their life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were not raised, you were maintained. Because there is a difference. A lot of people are not raising their children, they're maintaining their children and calling it upbringing and raising. That child ain't been raised. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, somebody who's been loved properly from infancy through childhood to adolescence to young adulthood will be a confident, self-assured, self-validated individual. And they will very rarely be influenced by outside forces. See, as a parent per se, we be wanting to protect them from the world. You can't. You can't. Even Yahuah himself didn't try to protect you from the world. He showed you love and gave you instruction and gave you game in order for his words to be in. Read in Proverbs 3:3. Make it 4:1 actually. For his word to be in you, and that would protect you from the world. Because you can't protect your children from the world. They gonna go out there. So you got to give them the proper instruction for them to be able to protect themselves with the wisdom and understanding that you imparted. Because if you just try to protect them from the world and don't give them no wisdom and understanding, they're going to be naive, they're going to be lame, and they're going to go out here and they're going to get ate alive. They're going to get ate alive. Because they won't have the proper preparation or the mentality to be able to go out. I just would tell her Muffin and say, because obviously she just went to D.C., right? I just gave an example. All that stuff you seen up there, obviously it's a playoff, depending on what it is, a playoff Roman and Egyptian culture. Cool. But I say, yeah, you know, they took you to see Abraham Lincoln. They told you Abraham Lincoln freed the slave. That maggot bastard didn't care about us. If you actually read his writings. I said, but they're not going to tell you in that schoolhouse. They're going to paint him that he is a champion and purveyor for equality and mercy and freedom for colored people, quote unquote. Whole time that man said, I don't give a damn about them slaves. I just want to keep the union together. And when the punk maggot bastard could have passed a proclamation that freed the slaves in the North, the stinking, dirty face, whole bastard didn't do it. He passed a proclamation that only freed slaves in the South, of which he had no control over because the Civil War wasn't over with yet. That's what he did. And this man is on record as saying, I don't care if they slaves. I just want to keep the Union together. But I told us that them people will get you in them school, they're going to tell you lies. They're not going to tell you the reality of the world that's outside this door because it don't benefit them to do so. And you got to be a plumb dumb idiot to put your trust that these people going to prepare your children for the world. That's your job. Because Mr. Charlie don't care about your children. He want them to be good little 14th Amendment niggas and continue to be a cog in his machine. Meanwhile, it's people of all nationalities out here that's seeking to devour your offspring because the devil dwell in them and they dwell in the devil. We were talking about it the other day. They say, well, if you say the Christian God, say he the God of this world. Man, the God of this world, he's the God of the ungodly multitude because Job said the earth given into the hands of the wicked. So that's why he tell you this, the God of this world. Because the earth's given in the hand of those who are disagreeable. And their God is disagreeable because they're hostile to the cause of the Mashiach, which is being self-sacrificing in your service to your Elohim. Making a covenant with him by sacrifice, crucifying the seed of the affections and lust to be able to live by the Ruach so you can live under God. They're going to be hostile to that. So obviously that's going to be their God. But what did he tell you? I'm not of this world. I'm from above and you from beneath. See, the reason why that junk be agitating me, because when these conversations be had with people who say they believe in the Mashiach, they don't be stopping that stuff. Man, you sound stupid, blood. Because you talking to people who don't know no better. And you know why they don't know no better? Because they're not seeking to be made perfect with God, so they're not going to come at that because you coming at it from a doctrinal perspective. I don't give a damn about no doctrinal perspective. My life on the line. I done told y'all that plenty of time before, man. You ever stood in the courtroom facing 3 years of life? I have. You know what I'm saying? So when you be in a situation when you understand your life on the line, man. I say, man, I've been outside on blocks and corners, man. My life was on the line. So I took it serious. So you know what I'm saying? I go to prison today. Nigga might catch me down bad, put a bullet in my head just because he think I got something. Not that I got something. He think I got a couple bricks. Boy, I got an eighth. I ain't got but 4 ounces, boy. Nigga, get you out of here, man. It's serious out here. So you come with the word, boy, your life is literally on the line. Every thought, every decision, every move, your life on the line. Man, you can't afford to be out here playing. You know what I'm saying? People be out here playing, man. Absolutely, Emma. Yeah. That's exactly why. Life on the line. Serious out here. You know what I'm saying? See, we were talking about that the other day, Emma, and it's always like, oh, y'all be tripping. It's like, nah. One thing I learned in life is that people don't come and do things for no reason. So as a man, I know, okay, I'm dealing with a woman, I dress a particular type of way. Now you trying to get out. I think you'll do this, that, there, and the third. You really don't want me for who I am. You want me for the caricature that you've created in your mind of who you would desire for me to be. This is the same thing we do with Yahuah. You don't want Yahuah for who he said he is. You want to dress him up and make him be who you want him to be. I can't do that because then I'm not me. I can't be who you want me to be. I got to be me. You understand? And I don't have a desire to be who you want me to be. Because if I be who you want me to be, then I'm not who you want. So when I see that Yahuah say he merciful, he gracious, abundant in goodness and truth, long suffering, showing mercy unto thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression. Shalom, brother Yahuah, but by no means clears the guilty. When this man say, I will reward iniquity into your bosom. When this man say, I see the play who he is, I accept him for who he is and not who I think he should be. That's who I'm down with. And I don't feel the need to justify who he is to anybody who don't like it. If you don't like it, take that up with him. So you okay with your God doing X, Y, Z? I certainly am. I certainly am. Now, does that mean, Emma, that every person who do that is trying to do that? I don't know, but I ain't gonna never find out. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna never find out. Listen, when I was young, this chick told me if you don't cut your hair by such and such time, it's gonna be a problem. I say, well, check this out, little baby. Pretend like today is that day then. Because I don't know who you think you're talking to. And I was 19 years old. Don't you disrespect me like that or try me like that. Because guess what? You ain't that pretty, you ain't that fine, and your body don't feel that good for me to ever compromise who I am as an individual by capitulating to your demands. Absolutely not. I take that as disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I take that as disrespect. Have a woman, I think you should dress like this. You ain't finna have me dressing like the last nigga you fooled with. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't finna do that with you, baby. I wear what I wear. You don't like it, find another nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's what you can do. But listen, man, you got to look at that with people in general. You have to accept people for who they are and not try to make them be something that they're not. Because in reality, you didn't want them. That's why a lot of people in the word fail and they don't want Yahushua. They don't want the Father, man. They want who they've created in their mind that they believe that he should be. You've always heard me tell y'all this, man, I ain't changing nobody. And I ain't seeking to change nobody. And I'm not going to persuade. Listen, man, I told you, I said, man, like I said, man, I'm not finna deal with no woman who ain't in the word and try to persuade her to serve God. I'm not finna do that. She got to already be serving God when I meet her. Because if you already eating pork, then I'm going to let you eat pork then. I'm not finna be like, listen. And also, and I told y'all this plenty of times, it speaks to the selfishness of people in the word. You don't care about that woman's soul. You care about making it palatable so you can be with her. I don't need to hit you off with no word so I can be with you. You know what I'm talking about? Me hit you off with the word because your soul need to be saved. I don't need to make you my old lady to do it. You understand how, boy, you dealing deceitfully, boy, because her soul ain't your concern. You trying to get to the yams, boy. And you trying to do it to make it look righteous, but really, in reality, your intent was wicked, boy. Your intent wasn't pure, boy. And we don't be looking at it that way. Because we've been socialized to think that's what you're supposed to do. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. You ain't supposed to see some woman, oh, she look good. She'll make a good wife. I'm going to teach about God. You don't care about that woman, boy. Because if you care about that woman, you be worried about facilitating that word to her and you go your way. And you go your way. But they don't be on that, don't do it. Come on, where we at?
Proverbs 4:1.
Right.
Say, hear you children, the instruction of a father.
Hear the what?
The instructions of a father.
What he say?
Tend to no understanding.
Intend to do what?
No understanding.
And what else?
For I give you good doctrine.
I give you good
Forsake
teaching.
you not my law.
Don't go abandon my
For I was
instructions.
my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother.
What else?
He taught me also and said unto me,
what he said?
Let your heart retain my words.
Let your heart
Keep
retain my
commandments and live.
And live.
Get wisdom, get understanding.
And in all your getting,
forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth.
Listen.
Forsake her not, and she shall preserve you.
What else?
Love her, she shall keep you.
And what else?
Wisdom, the principal thing.
And therefore,
get wisdom, and with all you're getting,
get what?
Understanding.
That man said, don't depart from my words, man. That's what people's problem is. You depart from his words. But we think his words are just made up on thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. Man, his instructions is more than just them laws, boy. It's instructions all through that book, boy, that bring you into a perfect man. That man being Yahuah HaMashiach, that you dwell in him and he dwell in you. But we don't be wanting to do that. You did? So let's go back to Romans 7. Well, Romans 2. Finish Romans 2. Then we go to Romans 7, man. We get us back to the point with the stone and the bread. I think that's been established. We went on some side quests, but you know how that goes. But now, Emma, you know, I'm just not a. I want to say that I've been fully grounded and aware of who I am as an individual since probably about 15, 16 years old. Maybe sooner than that, but I just probably wasn't aware of it in that capacity. You know what? I ain't gonna lie, Emma, probably at least 12. Because I say that because I think about that time I told you about that time that girl started brushing up against me in class. It was math class, Mr. Sykes math class. I had a black math teacher. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, this woman's being extra nice to me. And she ain't never did all this here. She touching me. She trying to rub her mammary glands on me. You know what I'm saying? What little baby got going on? You know what I'm saying? And then eventually it came. And when she asked me, can I cheat on your test? And I looked her dead in her face and said no. Dead in her face and said no. This is 1992. I remember it clear day. I can see it right now as I'm talking about it. Because I was like, you were trying to manipulate me because you thought that I would be moved at an opportunity to like you. And I told her, I said, no, you can't cheat on my test, because if you wanted to cheat on my test, all you had to do was ask. You didn't even have to do all of that. You know what I'm talking about? All that was completely and totally unnecessary. Because I didn't care about nobody cheating off my test. Man, go ahead. What that mean to me? I don't care. But the fact that you thought that you could manipulate me to do something for you, oh, you got me all the way messed up. All the way messed up. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't nothing to denigrate her as a young woman. She did obviously what somebody taught her is what she should do. I ain't mad at her. She did what she felt she had to do. It's on me how I respond to it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Because don't try me like that. I'm not on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on that. The only way that you don't that you don't go for that is because you're fully aware of who you are as an individual. When you're not aware of who you are as an individual, you will seek outside validation and acceptance. And the little bit of attention an individual gives of any type, you're going to jump on it, and you can jump on it to your own destruction. That's why the text tell you, Satan go about as a roaring lion looking to who he may devour. And he looking to devour anybody who don't know who they are in the Mashiach. So when you don't know who you are in Elohim, you're going to fall for that beauty. You're going to lust after that beauty with your eyelids, and it's going to take you down. Why? Because where the word of the king is, there's power. There ain't no mastery. You didn't let the word of the king dwell in you richly, so therefore you don't have any self-control. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's unserious. You got to know who you are as an individual. I can't tell you when you find out who you are. Everybody finds out at a different time. Some people never find out. I told you before, you need to know who you are as a man or a woman, and then you need to know who you are in your Elohim, in a Mashiach. Because when you know that, then you can be firmly rooted and you won't be pushed or persuaded or tossed by every wind of doctrine to and fro. But when you don't know who you are, that's when Satan, because he's an adversary. Adversaries look to take advantage of you when you don't know who you are. People don't like people who know who they are because they can't manipulate them. They can't persuade them. They can't do nothing to them. When you know who you are, you know your strengths and your weaknesses. You know your limitations. When you don't know who you are, you'll let people convince you can do anything, even though you know you don't have the ability to do it. Oh, you should be able to, you know how to do it. No, I don't know how to do that. And I don't have no shame in saying I don't. That don't make me any less of an individual because I don't know how to do something. Ain't nobody on this earth know how to do everything. And why you even let yourself convince yourself that you can know how to do everything? So you can set yourself up for failure to try to impress this goofy over here. I don't live to impress nobody on this earth but my maker. And that's it. And he don't even move for you to want to impress him. He just wants you to serve him with the whole mind, heart, and soul. You ain't even got to impress me. Just keep it 100 with me. That sounds like such an easy thing to do, ain't it? Mm-hmm. It ain't even that difficult, man. You make this thing difficult, man. This thing ain't difficult, man. Finish this Romans 2, we get out of here.
We're in verse 25.
Romans 2 and 25.
Say, for circumcision truly profit if you keep the law. But if you be a breaker of the law, your circumcision is made uncircumcision.
That's why we mentioned the Jeremiah 9. Come on.
Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision?
So if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, which is the righteousness of faith, shouldn't he be circumcised in his heart? Go ahead.
And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if you fulfill the law, judge you, who by the letter and circumcision do transgress the law.
Do transgress it.
For he is not a Yahudim, which is one outwardly.
But one what?
Neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh.
But where is that?
He is a Yahudim, which is one inwardly. Circumcision is that of the heart.
Of the heart.
And the ruach, not in the letter, whose praise is not of men.
And if your circumcision is in the heart, that means you got that thing written on fleshly tables of the heart. Ain't that right? Epistle of the Romans 7 and 7. To go back to our original thing of why we discussing all the stuff we discussing. Remember, y'all willing, man, doors open at 11:30 tomorrow, man. Y'all willing, man, we 7 days out of the Meet Your Connect gathering, man. So if you in Northeast Florida, man, a.k.a. Jacksonville, Florida, a.k.a. Duval County. Yeah, man, we're going to be at 938 Union Street East. Yeah, holla at me.
So what shall we say then? Is the law sin? Elohim forbid.
God forbid. Listen, right? He said, turn the stones into bread. Is that, he said, I'm going to write them again. This table of stone that you broke. He said, I'm going to take the stony heart out of you and give you a heart of flesh. He said, we're not writing this on tables of stone, but on fleshly tables is a heart. Is the law saying what? God forbid. What he said?
No, I had not known sin, but by the law.
Except,
for I had not known lust, except the law has said, you shall not covet.
But sin doing what?
Taking occasion by the commandment, wrought in me all manner of concupiscence.
And what it did?
For without the law, sin was dead.
Stop. That's what you remember. For those who don't know, that's what you seen with Adam in the garden. Without the law, sin was dead because he didn't have there wasn't no death in there. He said, if you eat from the tree, you shall surely die. So when you look at this, man, the tables of stone, what that law is, you're going to be dead if you break it, like Jack Daniels mentioned earlier, man. You break it, you die. But he said, hey, man, take these stones, turn them into bread. He said, the word was made flesh, and the bread that I give will be my flesh for the life of the world. So now I'm going to take this same words that I put on these tables of stone, and I'm going to write it on your heart. And you know why I can write it on your heart? Because when you came with that peace offering, with that salim, that covenantal alliance of friendship, you took away to kill Yah, man. You took them kidneys out, man. You took out the seat of your affections and lust. And therefore, you can serve me in Ruach and in truth. Peace is somebody. You know what I'm saying? Now you can do that. And I can accept you. And now I can call you friends. And not servants. Because a servant don't know what his master do. But I let you know all that I do. Because greater love have no man of this, that a man lay his life down for his friends, man. That's what the man did, man. You understand? But come on with it, bud.
He said, for I was alive without the law once. When the commandment came, sin revived, and I died.
And I died.
And the commandment which was
he said he was alive without the law. Adam was alive without the law once. But when they took part of it, they died. So when Satan come to the Lord, say, take these stones and turn them into bread, he know you was alive without it once. He know that. See, but he wants you to stay in them stones and not with that bread. You already know that he wants you to bring the covenant before the time so it'll fail. Because he know that this man came to make an end of sins, to finish the transgression, to anoint the most Kadosh, to bring everlasting righteousness and make reconciliation for iniquity. That's what that bread represent. That's what his flesh represent. That's why he said, I'm going to write it on fleshly tables of stone, not on tables of stone, but fleshly tables of the heart. Because now he said, I seen these bones and I said, live. I said, live. Come on with it, man.
And the commandment which was ordained to life, I found to be unto death. For sin taken occasion by the commandment deceived me, and by it slew me.
Wherefore,
the law is Kadash, and the commandment Kadash.
And righteous.
Just and good. Was then that which is good made death unto me?
God forbid.
But sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful.
And that's where you get the stony heart, tables of stone, fleshly tables of the heart, because it ain't nothing wrong with the words on the stone, but the words on the stone work death in you, because the minute you go contrary to it, guess what, Civic? You what? But if I put those words on the fleshly table of the heart, and that which lives is dwelling in that which lives, then the only thing that can be produced from that is life. But see, we don't look at it that way. The stones is an inanimate object. The stones ain't got no life in it. The words on the stone got life in it, which is what Paul is telling you. But you take them words with man seeking out many inventions, and you mix that together, and that word of the king ain't dwelling in you, so you don't got mastery over that, you ain't got the power over that, then guess what you're going to yield to? Because this is what the people run to every time they say, you always going to sin. No, you always going to sin. This man is not telling you he always going to sin. This man is telling you there's a dichotomy. Just what he told you in Galatians. The flesh lust against the Ruach, and the Ruach against the flesh, that you do the things that you ought not. So that's why the word of the king has to dwell with you. That's why, like we read in Proverbs, man, don't forsake my instructions, boy. Get wisdom to you. It will preserve you. It will keep you alive. Having skill in war will keep you alive. As Emma already mentioned, man, he said, you taught my fingers how to fight. He said, but the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. So how you going to go out here in the spiritual battlefield knowing it's a war for souls and you don't know how to fight? So if you don't know how to fight, guess what's going to happen? You're going to die. And that's what I mean by a lot of people ain't strong in the faith. They ain't warriors for the Lord, man. You just doctrinal, intellectual penis fighters is what you is. I'm going to show you I'm smarter than you. But boy, that's not going to help me out, man. I need to know how to run that fade, blood. I need to know how to run that fade. I need to know how to use that 9, that 4.5, that 40 cal. I mentioned 40 cal because I was always partial to a 40 cal. That Yappa, that Draco. I need to know how to work these weapons, man. Because when it's time to up that fire, I need to know how to use it effectively. We swinging swords. I need to know how to swing them, man. I need to know how to use this weaponry. Because the word is not weaponry for the purposes of cutting up no doctrine, man. Anybody who make you believe that is not of God, and they might be completely spiritually retarded. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, it's out here, man. We fighting for souls out here, man. It is a war for souls outside. Man, you know the song, Civic. You know the song? It's a war outside. Shalom, my G. Much love, man. It's a war outside. You got your head down, scared to look. You shook. Because ain't no such thing as a halfway crook. They never around in the B part in my part of town, nigga. It's similar to Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? It's serious out here. Man, every time you step out this door, man, it's a war for your soul going on, blood. This man ain't tell you to put on the armor of Elohim because it ain't no war outside. It's a war outside, man. But you shook. You know what I'm talking about? That man told you ain't no such things as halfway crooks. Ain't no such thing as no halfway Yahudim out here, man. He told you if you're lukewarm, I'd rather you be hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out my mouth. Now, I don't drink no coffee. So me, myself, I don't want my water hot. I ain't going to lie to you. I prefer my water cold. If it's lukewarm, I ain't going to be upset. But other beverages, if it's lukewarm, you're going to be agitated by that. I mean, I'm going to spit you out my mouth. I'd rather you be 100% instead of in the middle. So ain't no such thing as halfway crooks, man. It's a war going on outside, man. It's not only Satan warned against you. It's this world warned against you. It's your flesh warned against you. It's your friends and family warned against you. And you need to know how to be able to stand 10 toes flat and know how to fight. Man, what Joy talking about, man? Joy, I ain't entertaining that to what you want. You know what I'm saying? I take Jesus Christ seriously, not Yahuah. See, that's an example of somebody who can't go outside and fight. That's an example of what I'm talking about. That don't bit. Let me tell y'all something, man. A lot of people who in this word, unfortunately, and to use Mama Steph's word, it's all a facade. They not real people. What do I mean by real people? I mean authentically true people who understand what it is to be an actual person in the world, who's actually had life experiences, went through tribulations, went through sufferings, took losses, had failures. You know what I'm saying? Had successes, felt pain, lost friends, lost family, questioned themselves, doubted themselves, lost their confidence. You know what I'm saying? All of these things that are inherent to just being alive. You understand? So when you come to the word and you've actually been a real person in real life in a real way, you approach the word differently. But because of the internet, I have observed since at least 2010 that everyone is pontificating on spirituality that they don't even possess, because everything is a doctrinal battle and not the aspect of how I can become as my Elohim, or to literally become Israel. Yisrael, Yasharal, Yasharala, whichever one you say. That was as a prince, you have power with Elohim and man. Because all this other stuff these niggas on, well, I want power with God. I don't really care that about what you want. You want to argue with Trinity? Argue it. You want to argue about names? Argue it. You want to argue if Yahushua is God? Argue it then. I'm not going to argue with you. You know why I say it? Because we know what we worship. For salvation is of the Yahudim. So we already know what we own, what we stand on, and don't care if you agree, disagree, whatever, what that means to me. If you know for certain that the word of Elohim dwell richly in you, the thoughts and concerns and intimations and speculations and disputes of others mean absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Absolutely not. You think Yahushua walked around, oh, they don't believe what I say, man. I got to go out here and convince them. I ain't convincing you of nothing. So, Lane, we're going to put that dope on the table and you can cop or go. Because that's the name of the game, baby, cop and blow. You cop and blow, baby. You can cop and go. Don't make me no never mind. I would tell him do that today, man. Good work, sell itself. I ain't got to sell it to you. Yahuah ain't never had to sell itself to you. Good work, sell itself. Yeah, man. Come on, see. It's what it is. This is 11. Oh, shoot, man. Come on. Just run it. Well, we started late, man. But, you know, I'm trying to cut it down, not keep y'all up all night since we turn around and come back earlier, man.
For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good.
See, that's how you end up being what it was, stubbornly contrary. Read Proverbs 29:1. I called for that earlier. We never get around to it. And what he's telling you is that the flesh is stubbornly contrary. That's what he's telling you. Go ahead.
He that being often reproved harden his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy.
No health. That remedy means health. He'll be destroyed with no health. You hard, give him hardened by definition. You steady got to be, you got a hard heart and you steady got to be checked. Man, he say, man, I'm going to destroy you. You ain't going to have no health, man. No healing.
That's kashal, to be hard, to be severe, to be fierce, to be harsh.
To be obstinate. You know what I'm saying? Ain't finna keep telling you the same thing over and over again. Go ahead, man.
Say, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Oh, no. You leave him over there. You go back to Romans. My bad.
For I know, verse 18, for I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwell no good thing, but the will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do.
Indeed.
Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwell in me.
And what else?
I find in a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of Elohim after the inward man.
After the what?
After the inward man.
Mm.
And I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members.
That's right.
O wretched man that I am.
Who shall deliver me
from the body of this death?
That's right.
I thank Elohim through Yahuah Mashiach our Lord. So then with the mind I myself serve the law of Elohim, but with the flesh the law of sin.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where you get the dichotomy of the heart of stone and the heart of flesh, because that's what he describing. I need this heart of stone gone so I can have a heart of flesh, being a new creature. That's why they say, who can deliver me from the body of this death? You deliver from the body of this death when you made new. And that's what people's problem is. Like, you know, people be sliding through in here when, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't open rooms like that. You know, most of the rooms, not on YouTube, but most of the rooms on Clubhouse, they smoke rooms. So a lot of people be coming in and they say things because they're looking for smoke. But see, I don't smoke weed, cigarettes, crack, meth, or anything of the sort. So I ain't looking for no smoke. And I'm not an arsonist. You know what I'm saying? I say that because you think Yahuah walk around, let me go find some smoke. You think Yahushua was walking around, let me go find some smoke. I get it. You know, it's entertaining to see people verbally joust. But this a trap house. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't no debate stage. This a trap house. We trapping gospel in here, man. I already told you what it is, 28 and the 4, man. Straight drop. That's what we trapping out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I'll check you, but I'm not finna debate with you because I really don't care. Because the only thing that we should care about is everlasting life, if that's what you in this for. Now, if you ain't in for that, you know what I mean? Well, that's another deal. But hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. I appreciate y'all time this evening, man. And I love y'all. And bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. Yahuah with it, man. We'll be back at it. No, for sure, for sure. I got you, Yahuah Baruch. You know what I'm saying? Y'all with it, man. The doors open at 11:30 on tomorrow, man. Peace, brother Omar. Then you know next week, y'all with it, man. Meet your Connect gathering, man. Y'all with it, man. 7:30. Start time, man. Yahuah Baruch, man. Love you too, brother Marcus, man. Service time Friday, man. We probably won't go that long that Friday night, though. Remember, that's going to be an earlier start time than usual on the Friday. Y'all with it next week. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll chop it up with everybody when we get done. Then, you know, y'all willing daytime portion and start the same. We'll start doing performances if the Lord allow around 2:30, no later than 3. To rock it out. Then, you know, the cookout is at the garden. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to hang out, make it do what it do. Prayerfully, Bruce in Jacksonville, Florida, and surrounding areas, pull up, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all willing, man. Our people's going to be down here, Trag going to slide through, man. Y'all willing, Calvin, man. Cuz find him a good flight. Shorty Shama going to pull up on him, man. Prayerfully, Kadeem be able to pull up on him, man. You know what I'm talking about? Bazooka Joe going to pull up on us, man, but he in the city, though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all also in the city, they going to pull up on us, man. And we'll make it do what it do. The objective is for people in Jacksonville, Florida, in the word primarily to connect. Not that we're not trying to connect with people outside the city, but more so like I was telling Monte, I seen somebody who in our city is going to do outreach work in another city. And that junk irritate me. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people in your city and you could have went and networked with them and we could be doing that in our own city, not going to somebody else's city and do it. And that's what I be meaning about like what people be on. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not finna go in no other city when I know it's people who believe the word in my city to go do that with a bunch. Nah, man, I'm not doing that, blood. And we connected to the city they doing this in. Let's get not to get that twisted. You know what I'm saying? But I would see that that's something that would be primarily for people in Detroit to do. Because they already there. I'm not going to leave Jacksonville and go to Detroit to do no outreach work, bro. I don't live in Detroit. Now, it's different if somebody say we doing something and we want you to be a part of it. Now, for sure, I understand, man. You know, that's a back-to-back trip. You know what I mean? But you would already be doing work in your city. If I ain't doing work in my city, I'm not finna go do work in somebody else's city without making an attempt to connect with people of like mind in my city and do that there first. Because I live here. That's just how I think. I live here. So I'm not going to your city and do that. I'd be like, hey man, you know some brothers in Whoop Jackson because we need to tap in with them. And we're gonna do that here. Not going out of town to do that, bro. That's just me. So the objective is, there's nowhere in the world, man. People say they of God, they believe in God, body of my shot, but you want to stay off in your corner. Or you want to stay, well, I know these people, that junk lame to me, bro. Y'all already know that junk, yeah, it's irritating me now. That junk irritating me, bro. I say, man, it ain't about making no super congregation. It ain't about people coming. Listen, we could get done early enough. You can have, man, pull up on us, man. We trying to tap in, man. Y'all got to stop being goofies out here, man. I ain't going to say what Pac said on the end of Death Around the Corner because mama don't like that word. You know what I'm saying? Pac said, y'all niggas need to stop it like out there, all right? You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to stop acting like that. Stop being cowards, man. Stop finding a way to just be clicked up with these group of people over here, man, to keep it 100 and be real, man. If this is what you own, then this is what you own. I ain't got to kick it with you and hang with you and do that there in the third to do what we got to do with this word mandate, how we supposed to be rolling and rocking. You got to do all that, man. And I ain't saying that I ain't going to be cool with you or want to kick it with you. That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we on this for real, or is we perpetrating and hesitating, man? You know what I'm saying? What is we doing? I know I'm looking at. What is we doing? But again, man, I appreciate y'all. Let me get off of here, man, before I start, because I'm getting pissed off. Y'all with it, man, till tomorrow. Shoot, we go ahead and say that you already know.